I'll get you back, evil boss. John Crane yelled at the top of lungs. To be continued.
Dude, I was trying to think. Oh God, what kind of song should I play for the intro of the rebound from the fuck up stream? And I thought, the to be continued thing like popped into my head, and I was thinking, oh my God, what the fuck is that from? And it took me hours, and I just kept thinking, to be continued, and I tried searching it, and if you search to be continued meme song, you get like that song. It's like an anime song. It was like a thing where something happens, and right before like a punch hits, it says to be continued, and there's like a. But no, I figured it out all on my own. I'm already being showered in cash money as a recompense for my misery. So before the stream begins, first of all, thank you everybody who has tuned in at this very odd time to watch this stream. That means that you are a true fan. You are subscribed to alerts. You are on the Telegram. So you're going out of your way to watch whatever the fuck I'm putting out. On that note, let me warn everybody real quick before this gets going that I have made the executive decision that this will be a continuation of my last stream, which means that almost nothing that I'm going to be talking about on this stream will have happened after Friday at the latest. And even then, there's stuff I'm going to go back between Tuesday and Friday and bring that into Tuesday. And then I'm expecting that Friday's stream will be a lot about Nick Rekieta because Rekieta has a plea deal going into, or not a plea deal, but a hearing where he has to enter a plea, so either guilty or innocent. So that out of the way. Let me put this up first, and then I will talk about some of the things that have happened. In the Art for Null thread, art and literature, people have been taking cracks at doing the logo for the foundation. And the foundation, it's looking really good. It's pretty fucking close now to what I've had in mind. There's a couple tweaks. Like, the engraving lines on this are great. This guy's getting really, 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 really close to exactly like in the mind's eye what I had in mind. So if you are an artist and you'd like to contribute to this, I only have a couple more things I would say, but eventually I need it rasterized into an SVG, so I'm gonna have to get somebody to do that too. But it's getting really, really close. Again, this is this actually really. I'm gonna give this guy a sticker. I don't know. I think I give out more achievement stickers on stream than I do on like my day-to-day use of the site. And I wonder if it's just because I feel pressured to like be more courteous when I'm on stream. Anyway, okay, so that's the logo thing. As I mentioned, if you want to contribute ideas or help with the art direction, go ahead. Once this is finished, I am going to actually get it like on stuff. It's going to go on letterheads. It's going to be. I'm going to put it onto a stamp. I'm going to do a lot of stuff with it because it's I don't know. It's really distinct, even though it's Sisyphus, and that's a obviously very ancient and very well-known story. The exact pose in my head for how he'd be leaning up against the rock is pretty distinct in terms, because usually he's like pushing it forward or he's like carrying it, but not many people. I've not seen many renditions of him pushing back into it. When I tried to generate it with AI, I couldn't get it done. So there's that. And then let me talk about the Starlink thing. So I'm sort of in between places right now. I am packed up. I've discarded all of my shit. Everything that I'm not taking with me is gone. And I had to find very annoyingly, I had to find a place in between packing up and leaving. And the place that I found had advertised fast internet. And of course, it was not fast internet. So I tried to set up the Starlink. Again, a big pain in the ass. Just find some place to fucking put it on the roof or whatever. Get a maintenance man to help. And then when I did, I it didn't work. And it had worked before, and I was almost 100% convinced that I had broken it in the move at some point. However, upon further inspection, I came to the conclusion that there was a faulty temperature sensor in either the Starlink or the power supply unit, which is a second box that you plug everything into. And it was reading that this device, both the device, the power supply unit, and the Starlink were too hot. And it said it warned it was throttling the devices in order to keep it from having a catastrophic heat related failure. But it's been cold the last week. Not quite freezing, but cold. And I would go out and I would touch the device, and I would touch the power supply brick, and it would be cool. It would be cool to the touch. And it's like, there's no fucking way that this is overheating, because I looked it up and people were complaining that their devices were actually hot to the touch when they were receiving these errors. So I spent a full day, like 16 fucking hours, trying to reposition it, cleaning it, tampering with the wires, trying to make sure that they weren't bending incorrectly, putting the power supply unit outside where it was cooler on like a table, and then bringing it inside and fucking with it nonstop. And I came to the conclusion that there was a faulty sensor. So I wrote the customer support, and as I was doing diagnostics, I continued to supply more information. Very succinct, very succinct. This doesn't work. This doesn't work. And then I got a reply from a woman that I am 100% convinced is black. And I base this entirely off her name. It's almost certainly a black woman just based off the name. I've never met a white woman with this name. I've never met anyone not American with this name. So I was pretty convinced it was a black woman. And I had written probably over 12 hours. Actually, it was like a full day, because I started doing diagnostics on like Wednesday, and the ticket got answered on Saturday. So it was like over 24 hours. And I had written like, okay, this doesn't work. This works. I'm seeing this notice, so I'm pretty sure there's a neighboring device that has this. And I wrote out full details, and I said, I am 100% certain that it's the power diagnostic system that is falsely reporting a temperature reading that is incorrect. And if you can reset it from your side, because the Starlink device is definitely one of those new Internet of Things thing where it's like, we don't trust you to touch anything. It's proprietary software. We can access it remotely. Go fuck yourself if you want to actually get any diagnostic information. So I said, if you can reset this remotely, this temperature gauge, it would probably fix everything immediately. And Janiqua comes back at me, and the first thing she says is, have you checked for obstructions? And that was the very first thing I said. Is like, I'm 100% fucking sure there are no obstructions. I don't know why there are red dots everywhere. Like, if you look at the obstruction map, it's red dots straight up, like above it. Like, I know that the sky is fucking clear above this device. It's not under a fucking hangar or something. It's on a roof. So it can't possibly be obstructed in this way. It doesn't make sense. How is there one red dot right above it if there's no connection to the fucking horizon? Like, that's not how things don't just exist like in fucking Minecraft with block structures just floating around in the sky. So I'm like, I know it's not obstructed. I took a picture, I sent it to her, said I'm 100% sure it's not obstructed. And then she said, I see a flag for an overheated power supply unit. Have you made sure that it's not next to a vent? And it's like, that was the second thing I said to her. And before she answered my ticket, like, yeah, I know it's saying that. I see it on my fucking dashboard. It's cool to the touch. Here's a picture of it. And I'm showing you that it's like not fucking hot. It's out it's perfectly ventilated. She said, well, just because it don't feel hot don't mean that it ain't hot, because it can be on the inside. So I again explained in words a child can understand that there's neighboring devices that I can test it by. Those are standard old devices, so they don't work for streaming purposes. But I say I'm 100% convinced that this works. And she says, well, if your neighbor's device works so well, why don't you use that? I'm like, bitch. I'm paying Elon Musk, a billionaire, $250 fucking a month so that my flat high performance dish connects to the fucking internet and lets me stream. And then she said, okay, well, she just immediately closed out the ticket and RMA'd my power supply unit. Her diagnostic was finalized immediately. So, okay, the power device is wrong. We're going to send this to your shipping address. My shipping address is in fucking Florida. It's a remail address. And I said, wait, hold up. There's an eMag place right across the border. I can take a bus. I can take an Uber from here to another country and pick this up at one of your authorized retailers if you can arrange that. And she said, we don't do that. Shipping, expedited your shipping, and it'll be there by December 12th in Florida. I'm like, well, that doesn't fucking help. So I gave up. I just said, okay, I'm buck broken. I'm going to have to record my final message, before I leave and say my thoughts that way. And it won't be as fun. It won't be as awesome, but that's just what I'm going to have to do. And then I had after sleeping it off, I checked my device. And at some point, hours after that ticket had closed, and a couple hours before I woke up, it was perfectly functional. All the obstructions had gone. It went from like 30% obstructed to less than 0.5% obstructed. The signal strength went from 30% to 50%, fluctuating to 100%. The temperature warnings were both gone. Everything was fine. And I thought, I know exactly what happened. They had a regular CSR rep go through the flow sheet with me, and then because because she closed out the ticket like she did, or I reopened it to say like, wait, hold up a second, can you not send it to fucking Florida? Something triggered and had it go up to a white man, or perhaps even a Chinese person. And the Chinese person went, actually, Shaniqua, you can press the reset temperature calibration button right here, and it will fix that faulty sensor. And I think that's what happened, because there is a set point in time I can pull up, like the Starlink actually logs every single time that there's an obstruction that causes the router to have to reconnect to a satellite, and it drops the internet during that time. So they can see a log of when obstructions are causing impacts. And if I bring up the log, I can see a 0.1 second or greater obstruction almost every couple of minutes for days, up until that exact minute where everything is fixed. So there is an exact moment where somebody somewhere pressed a button to fix something, and now I'm going to get a free power brick from Starlink. So, just a genuinely horrific experience. I'm not going to lie. Like, gut-wrenching, disgusting, nauseating, heartbreaking, physically intensive, having to fuck with everything over and over again, replug everything, go up the fucking roof, up 2 flights of stairs over and over again. It was just an awful, awful fucking experience. But having a week where I can stream before I take my break was worth it. So here we are. Now, all of that work, all of that effort, there was a good motivation behind it. There was a clear mind, open heart, genuine interest to bring my chat the news that they want to hear. And this is the only thing that I'm going to show you guys that happened after Friday. It's a little quip from our boy, Christine Weston Chandler, Son and Chu, Jesus Christ. What's he got to say? Come on, Starlink, you can do it. Download the video from the Kiwi Farms. I can't believe this. How am I so felted all the time? My site better be fucking down. Hold up. Oh, there we go. I actually have this video on my computer. I'm just going to drag and drop it onto the screen. Here we go. Get ready. It's coming. You're about to be jump scared by Chris. Wait, is that not playing audio? Oh, you son of a bitch. You fucking bastard. I'm so pissed. I'm pissed beyond words, actually. There we go. Okay. Why is there no audio? Oh, there we go. Okay.
When the child is actually coming into play, or somewhere around that point, or I just might keep y'all in the dark and let y'all know it and wait till after the child is born.
Okay, so let's read the message that triggered that question. Kim Disposable says for $2, when are you going to announce the child you're having? And then Chris Chan, instant replay.
When the child is actually coming into play, or somewhere around that point. Or I just might keep y'all in the dark and let y'all know it wait till after the child is born.
Okay, let's talk this over. There are two interpretations of this. The first one is on its face. It sounds like he's confirming that Flutter, the Finnish autistic weirdo that nobody knows anything about, besides that she's Finnish, is pregnant. And he intends to announce that she is pregnant at some point in the near future when the child comes into play, or somewhere or summer around that point. So it's sounding like he says the due date is in summer, and when we get closer to summer, I'll announce it. Or when maybe he's thinking after the first trimester. That's pretty considerate of him, but that usually you don't announce a pregnancy until after the first trimester for various reasons. You're thinking, okay, when the child comes into play, it's after the first trimester, because that's probably how Flutter explained it to him, and he is trying to rehash that, and is like, well, when it comes into play, I guess it's pretty close. The other interpretation is that comes into play means actually gets pregnant. And when he says summer, he's actually saying somewhere.
It's actually coming into play, or somewhere around that point.
Here's the point contention.
Play, or somewhere around that point. Or somewhere around that point.
He's either saying summer or somewhere. So if he's saying somewhere, he could be saying, we are actively trying to conceive. I will announce it as soon as she's pregnant. Or somewhere thereafter when she's pregnant. Or maybe I'll just keep you in the dark until the baby is born. So there are two different interpretations, but either way, it seems like they are actively trying to conceive. So I will leave you with that. I will give you some time to process your emotions as I go to my next thing. There will be no news. I made the executive decision that I'm not going to read any news articles because it's already been a week, so there's no point. I read all the news articles for the first one. I'll try to Frankenstein the videos together or something when I'm done. So let's see what the spooky, scary skeleton's up to.
POV, my cat is waiting for me to die.
This is Ashley Isaacs. She's still alive. She is just celebrated her birthday on Friday. And if you don't know, like you've seen Eugenia Cooney and all the others, Ashley Isaacs is the OG. She is the pro Anna of all pro Annas. It is shocking that she is still alive. It defies fucking belief. She looks so bad that it's like kind of like physically painful to even put eyes on her. But every year she puts out another video laughing at her doctor saying, haha, you guys said I would be dead if I didn't eat something, and here I am, still alive, defying all logic and all goodliness that has ever existed. And I think this is a message, yeah. It says, oh hey, happy birthday to me. Story time, when I was 14, I was told by my physician I wouldn't live to see 16. When I turned 16, I was told I wouldn't live to see adulthood. When I turned 18, I was threatened, change now or your life is done. Fast forward too many years later, and here I am typing this word vomit to you on Instagram. For some reason, unbeknownst to me, I have been kept alive. I may never know the meaning, and I am fine with that. Tomorrow is not promised. Today is our gift. And that's all, folks. So that's Ashley Isaacs. Still here. Cool. This is Elphaba or Elphaba. I'm assuming it's Elphaba. Orion Doherty. He is a gay male with AGP. Sad. Many such cases. And you may think the name Elphaba is really fucking weird. Or if you're a woman, really familiar. And the reason why is that it is the name of the Green Witch from Wicked. Now, this guy has had a thread that is quite long. Oh, wait, I thought this was an older thread. It's from last year. Okay, I'm wrong then. I thought this thread had been around for a while. Anyways, he gained some notoriety because when the new Wicked movie, or whatever, I don't know if it's a movie or like a stage play or what the fuck it is, but when the Wicked thing was announced, it was like a big deal. So this guy who is so fanatically obsessed with Wicked that he named himself after the witch from Wicked, he lost his mind, and he had been begging to get free tickets, like honorary VIP tickets, to go see either this movie or this stage play or whatever the fuck. I think this is him trying to get it. Elphaba starts to use this is like a hater video. To try and get into the Wicked premiere.
Elphaba starts to use fake tears to try and get into the Wicked premiere.
Do you want to see a video of me singing when I was a little baby? Wicked. Like 8 years old. Not a baby, but 8. I have a little...
British.
Like, this is... I don't want to cry. This is literally the... I want to be...
Literally.
You don't understand.
I'm literally the green woman from Wicked, don't you know?
Elphaba...
Let's see, so... This guy actually did get his tickets to the Wicked premiere. Let's see
I've got some news.
I've got some news.
I just got a message. I can't say who from. I'm actually crying right now. I think I'm going to the Wicked shop, but I just wanted to make a TikTok video. Ask if I could go to the Wicked premiere in London. I have always loved Wicked. It has been my dream.
London. So he's going to the Wicked premiere, and in fact, he was not going to the Wicked premiere. He was trolled by someone who gave him fake email account and fake details, and then when he actually arrived to the public area, he was denied access. So he went home and had a complete and total mental breakdown, which triggered the police to actually do a wellness check on him, because they were afraid that he was about to commit Sudoku over being denied access to the Wicked premiere. He did not let them in, though. And part of the reason why is that he's like a drug addict rent boy. I think rent boy means that you pay with bussy. I'm not too sure. I'm not up on the British terminology. Oh, and he got kicked out, actually. Okay. So before the premiere, he actually got kicked out of his bussy apartment because the police were coming and they do drugs there and they didn't want the cops to find that. He didn't have enough money to buy a hotel room. And he couldn't even, and then he contacted the troll to get hotel stuff, and he couldn't get a hotel from him. So then he painted himself green to go see the premiere. He's going to go see it in full cosplay makeup.
So they're all going to be walking over there.
Oh, wow.
Crazy.
Son of the Mask.
I don't know what time they get here. I think it's another half an hour. Not live with us.
Are you actually? No, you're not. Let me on.
Guys,
What happens?
Okay.
He's putting on his hat.
Can you say hi?
Oh, it's so fun.
He's like watching remotely the Wicked premiere. He's like this is like the pornographic equivalent of the Wicked premiere.
I can't go, babe. I'll be late. I'm like 6 hours away from London.
Okay. And then I want to show you this picture. Oh, wait, there's another video. I hope he's crying.
to the point where it's too much.
Oh, so okay, I understand. Sorry, I read the subtext. So he's at the Wicked premiere, or no, he's watching like TikTok videos that people are sending him, and they're at the Wicked premiere, and they're laughing at him because he did not get to go. And then he's watching the premiere again from his house.
And I have to say,
and the Wicked makeup has now been washed off his face
5 years.
Because he's crying so hard.
5 years of it. People have AI'd me. People have lied about me online. People have said I'm this and I'm that, when I'm not. I wish I could turn back the clocks. I wish I could be a better image for myself.
It's true, he does look more like Shrek than a witch.
I ask is for people just to understand me and to like me.
What's to understand? You're just like gay and retarded.
I know I'm not going to be liked by everyone. But just please leave me alone if you've got nothing nice to say. Fuck off, Mum.
Is that his mum has walked in and is like, stop your fucking crying, it's fucking cringe. I'm fucking cringing over here.
You're not gonna fucking shout at me, Mum.
Well then turn it off.
No, I'm not having it. Do not shout at me.
I want you to turn that
I'm gonna walk in there and I'm cutting it down. I'm gonna cut down the whole internet.
off now.
No.
Get off the live 'cause
No.
you're crying.
No.
Turn it off.
No.
Turn it off.
No.
Off.
No.
Off.
No.
You're giving them exactly what they fucking
You are. You're shouting at me.
Oh, she's smart. She's literally saying you're being cringe right now, and you're giving the haters and trolls what they want. And he's like, "No, I got a cringe cry on TikTok for me likes and me views."
I wish I lived on my own.
My home.
I wish I lived on my own.
So do I.
Yeah.
This is my home, but fortunately they all got fucked up, didn't it?
Yeah.
So turn it off now.
What?
Fortunately they all got fucked up, didn't it?
Yeah.
So turn it
It all got fucked up, didn't it? Because he's living there.
Oh yeah, they're gonna love that, aren't they? Shouting at me, aren't they?
I don't give a flying fuck about any single one of them. They're not in my life. I couldn't give a shit. They're nothing but vultures and snakes. You turn that live right off now. You turn it off then.
Well, get out my face.
Turn it
Get
off.
out my face, and I will.
No, I won't get out your face. This is my living room. Turn it off now.
Dude, I didn't even see this video the first time I skimmed through it, and this was the end result of him getting epically owned by his own mom. That's fucking awesome. I'm featuring this actually. This is pretty wholesome, Big Chungus. Let's see. Oh, I should be reading this here. British stream names after the Witch and Wicked told us seeing the premiere and spends afternoon crying on TikTok live while mom berates him. I'm gonna feature this, and then I can't do this in the same go, but then if I refresh this page, you can do a little trick. I don't think I've ever done this on stream before, but I can change the feature date to match the date of the post, and that way I can kind of retroactively feature it back here. So it's ordered kind of weird, but that usually works when I'm like featuring something late. I can just pretend that I featured it timely. How old is he? If I had to guess, he's probably like 25. It's hard for me to say though. I just think his birthday was in the OP. I can check. 2004, which would make him 20. So I was wrong. He looks a little bit old for his age, though. Twink death comes for some sooner than others, chat. This is a very late update, but I figured I might as well throw it in. Holly Dance, who I did an entire stream about, who was notable for having her son allegedly commit suicide, to which she tried to blame on a TikTok craze, which I guess was a TikTok craze where you hang yourself. He accidentally, by her account, he accidentally gave himself brain damage. And then she fought tooth and nail to keep this dead boy's corpse heart beating, to the point where she fought it all the way up to the absolute supreme tippy top of the United Kingdom's court system. And the medical doctors who were giving expert opinions on the case said that they recommended unplugging the body because his brainstem had necrosis, meaning the most important fundamental compartment of the human brain had rotten from the brain death. So there was a 0.000000% chance that anything would ever revive or resuscitate from his body. Pretty dire. While this was going on, though, while she was in the midst of this absolute insane media craze in the United Kingdom, one of the things that kind of slipped by just because she was a little bit untouchable at that moment, and I guess the government didn't want to seem like they were picking on her for fighting in the court system, she actually hit somebody with her car. As a Genocider pays attention to this thread, and I trust his input on this. She ran somebody off the road on October 2022, which is when the actual stuff with her son was going on. And then she was allowed to walk until October 2024. So they gave her 2 years just to fuck around because of the circumstances with her son. And now the trial has been set for 2025. So nobody even knew this, but she did drive somebody off the fucking road. Oh no! I mean, I think I even mentioned this briefly in the stream. But it was a thing that happened, and it was kind of remarkable. It was like low key that she did this thing, and then just got to walk for it. But the allegation was that she tried to run somebody off the road, like deliberately tried to cause harm to somebody. That's a really late update on that guy, or not really a guy, but you know what I mean. Okay, now. I did play this. I'm going to retread over a couple things that I mentioned on Tuesday because it was just such a bad stream that there's no point pretending that people paid attention to anything that was going on. Jim Sterling did his 10-year celebration stream. For 10 years, since 2014 when he left The Escapist, he has never once missed a Monday. He puts out a new video every Monday and has done so very faithfully for 10 years. And in the very few times where he has not put out timely content, he actually had a backlog of content to put out just in case. So he has actually literally never missed a single Monday for 10 years. Actually kind of in a situation where everyone pretends that YouTube is like the hardest fucking job in the world, that is a level of commitment that is unusual for people, especially people like Jim Sterling. However, me, of course, being the #1 Jim Sterling fan in the entire world, I did in fact listen to this entire video in its entirety, twice, actually. And it's not very funny. He's mostly sucking his own dick, almost literally. And instead of making you watch this entire video, I actually went ahead and picked out a couple timestamps, and we're going to spend a couple minutes watching Jim Sterling together. I think you'll enjoy it in the wrong way.
Went too low. One of my proudest accomplishments is seen in the number of people I've talked to who said I was either a big part of or entirely the reason they became aware of their own sexuality or gender, that seeing me gave them the confidence to come out. To use queer parlance, I've cracked a lot of eggs. Throughout my entire career, I've been vocal and intensely unapologetic about being queer, and that visibility has been vital. I've always said visibility is vital, and I consider it the most important thing I have ever done. It cannot be merely shrugged off that a result of never missing a single episode meant my transition was done publicly and in real time, week on week, physically changing from the very beginning of HRT to now several years on. And I did that on YouTube of all.
I love that. This is what I used to look like.
HRT to now several years.
And this is what I look like now. Good job, Jim.
And I did that on YouTube of all bloody places. Even worse, on gaming YouTube. Jesus! Estrogen or not, that takes balls. Did coming out as trans femme negatively impact my career? Yes. Unequivocally, yes. Now you can quibble over the degree to which it did, but it did. That's just objective. Would
I wonder if that's a response to me, because if you remember when he did his under 800,000 subscriber stream, I pulled up his statistics and demonstrably proved that his numbers had been in decline before he came out, and they remained pretty steady in their decline. Like, it wasn't like it doubled or tripled in speed. It's like he's been losing subscribers at basically the same rate for years, because his content is very stagnant. But I thought that was an interesting part. His pride. Imagine looking at Jim Sterling and thinking like, oh my god, if he can be a woman, so can I. His results are so fantastic. I just gotta replicate that with my own body as some kind of chemistry experiment. Look, guys, it's literally me. That's literally me. The cartoon woman is literally me.
A celebration's also hard because while I did not delete my pre-transition work, as some folks understandably do, I personally don't care to go back. So a retrospective of the Jimquisition itself would be next to impossible. It's just weird to see that man in my place. It doesn't upset me. In fact, I sometimes look at an old photo or two to enjoy how fucking awesome I look now. But I think I'd be proper weirded out if I saw myself from 5 years or so ago actually moving and talking. And I'd feel sorry for him, because he was fucking miserable. It's like when people call me Jim now. It doesn't hurt so much as feel like the Matrix glitched for a moment. It's just strange. And the other reason it's hard is because, well, I'm fucking tired. I've stressed and pondered and worked and written and talked about all this shit for 10 goddamn years. Don't know if I mentioned it's been 10 goddamn years. It is staggering that I've lasted in the face of YouTube becoming an unviable platform, this channel being basically done for, and this side of my career not really being something I can just sort of continue on its own. But for the good bits and the shit bits, I have gone the fucking distance. And you know what? I deserve better than I got. I don't care how arrogant that may sound. For all I've accomplished in this business, I deserve more than the business gave out. But I'm glad I had a ton of support from outside the business, i.e. everybody responsible for keeping this
I'll end it there. That clip. I just the part where he's like, I can't even do a proper retrospective on my career because if I see pictures of myself, I start to physically cringe and go into a psychotic state. I disassociate and do mental damage to my own person. I thought that was interesting. And then the whole point about him being tired. Oh man, I might have missed something. I did. I'll go back to that. I missed something because that first clip it was very long and I cut it off early. I don't know, him just stressing that he's tired and he knows he can't do it for much longer. He hints, and it's not worth playing the clip of, but he says that he wants to go into video game writing. I've talked about it on stream before, but he's actually done a couple writing gigs for a couple indie games. He wrote a bestiary entry for some indie game. He plays an acting role in the Date Everything Nintendo game where you can date the lamp or like the bathtub or like the chat box itself as like a sexy character. He plays a character in that. He had a role in some other fucking game I can't remember. He's done some indie game stuff, and that's what he wants to be his career. He no longer wants to do YouTube. He hates doing YouTube. He hates video games as an industry in terms of like critical media. He wants to find some way out of this, and he knows it's not going to be wrestling, and that's the clip I'm going to circle back to in a second. But I did want to show this person on stream real quick.
Thanks to Jim's Big Ego as well. It's a fucking great song, that. And thank you to my husband, Phoenix Sterling, who helped put me back together during one of the shittest times of my life, who helped me find myself, who makes me happy and gives me confidence and encourages me to keep
It's insane that those are the best pictures that he has of this woman.
Damn love of my life. And finally...
Yeah, it's a reverse transsexual thing. He's the girlfriend, she's the boyfriend. It's retarded. It's just, these are such bad photos, and it kind of makes me think of, like, if you ever see, like, when they have like a poster of like a black kid that's gone missing, they almost always don't have a real picture of them because I guess black parents don't take pictures of their kids. So they just have to go to Facebook and find whatever they're using for a photo. And their photo is usually like that Trayvon Martin shit where they're standing around in underwear and nothing else, but holding guns and doing gang signs. So when they take that only photo that they have and they put it on like the milk carton, they have to write in text so that people don't complain. Only photo available. Because if you remember, there was that meme of the like a black woman yelling at like a local news anchor, like, "Oh my gosh, that's the only picture. That's the picture you gonna use for him? White people so racist and shit. How about something a little bit more dignified?" And then the anchor replies with like his picture from Facebook, and he's like holding a gun and looking retarded. It's like that because that happens if you don't write only picture available. So it's like this is Phoenix Sterling. Jim Sterling, married to this woman, man thing. I have no other picture available for her. She just looks like this. Okay. I missed the part. Give me 1 second. I know what to look for. Okay, here. Oh yeah, this good stuff.
Despite being a physically disabled chronic pain sufferer with a herniated disc, I became a fucking professional wrestler. I had a career-ending injury before I started my career, and I've had historical achievements and influence in that medium as well. Oh, and by the time of publication, I'm the 612-day reigning and commanding PCW Women's Champion, and also a former title holder in Korea, despite never setting foot in Korea. It was never going to be a long in-ring career. In fact, I'm starting to think of my retirement plan because for as good as it's been for me physically and mentally, the pain is outpacing the benefit now, and I'm going to be a part-time wheelchair girl in the near future, already shopping around. But the thing is, I did it. Because doing it is what I do. 612 days, toad fuckers! Oh,
So that's his crowning accomplishment, is that he got into some extremely niche tranny circuit of like fake wrestling shit and did play pretend in a ring around a smattering of audience. And he literally upholds this more than like his entire career of 10 years of video game reviews and analysis and game reviews and stuff. Like the thing that actually paid the bills while he was fucking around playing pretend like a little princess in a stupid ass mask and latex costume. He holds that up. But the fact that he's like crippled now because he's like 400 pounds and never bothered to lose weight. That's an interesting little aside, I suppose. Yeah, that's it. That's the stuff that sticks out to me in this video. Congrats, Jim. Here's, I guess he doesn't want to do, in the video he says he doesn't want to do 10 more years. So I don't know what he wants to do. I don't know if that whole video game writing shit's going to pan out for him. But I will be paying attention, chat. Trust me. This may be relevant to some people who pay attention to these things. This is a metal band called Life of Agony. And it is headed by a guy called Mino Caputo, who has been trans publicly for like 14 years. And he's detransitioning. He says that, I think he's like 50 something now. And he plans to detransition starting in the new year. So, and he says that he felt trans for his entire life. And he felt trans while being transgender. But now he just doesn't feel trans anymore. And that makes me think, oh, you're old and your sex drive has crashed, and now you're no longer horny to like be dressed in drag. So that's what happened. You just stop being aroused by stuff. So you no longer want to be a woman. The gender euphoria has gone. Now that's fucking metal, if you ask me. Okay. So I did talk about this during the last stream as well, but I'm going to go over it. There's been a couple developments that have happened that I want to go over anyways, just to reiterate it, because I feel it's a really strong point. One of the things that's been going on in recent time is the Blue Sky stuff. Blue Sky, of course, is a competitor to Twitter. started by Jack Dorsey, who has since turned down his position and is now no longer involved in the project. And perhaps the reason why is that it's not actually a decentralized platform. It was supposed to be like Mastodon, but better. Not turn out that way. It's effectively a closed project. But they're having a massive influx of users. They have over 20 million users now, up from however many million from a while ago. And they are receiving more reports per hour than the Kiwi Farms receives in post during our busiest day ever, which was the Trump election for 2024. So they're receiving tons of reports about every little thing because they have very strict rules. And a lot of that is child pornography. So child pornography is like flooding the platform, and they're having to catch up on it. They rely mostly on a decentralized, community-led moderation approach. So they encourage people to publish block lists and what they call starter packs. So you join the site, and then you follow somebody, and they publish a starter pack. Like, let's say, like I wanted to. There's a bunch of people that I like, or groups related to internet freedom that I like, and I want to share them with people who follow me. I can make a starter pack, and you just click that, and then you're subscribed to all those people at once. They make the opposite of that, which is a block list, and you could subscribe to those block lists to automatically block all those people as well. And I'll get into that in a second. One of the things that this guy, I did mention this last stream, but like I said, not worth pretending people could watch that. This guy explains how the system works, how there are some decentralized elements to it, but it's very much you have to literally, to get your instance connected to the Blue Sky network, you have to go join a Discord channel and grovel to trannies to get your instance listed. So the government agencies joining this, I think I can't remember what service it was. It was like the FTC or something. They joined. Oh no, it was the Consumer Protection Tribunal or some shit. They joined. So the fucking government has to go to a Discord server and grovel to the fucking trannies there to get their .gov email address or domain name whitelisted. A lot of the stuff that's on it right now is mostly tranny related. So the tranny illegal hormone shipping stuff has moved over, and this guy, as I mentioned last stream as well, is a pharmaceutical compounder who has to actually mix the active ingredients of pills into the pill or the vial so that they're injectable or ingestible in a dose that actually enters your bloodstream safely. And he went over how these people are not creating safe products. They're creating products that clump together, reduce the potency of the chemicals, introduce contagions into them, are creating things that are not as shelf stable as they said they would be, and so on and so forth. A very good detailed write-up that's inside the Homebrew HRT community watch thread. However, my main interest is in Liz Fong Jones, who has effectively set up a legal department for Drop Kiwi Farms. Cusk is effectively a completely online law firm who most notably contains Akiva Cohen. Akiva Cohen is, if you don't remember, was a lawyer from Kick Vic who was anti-Vic Mignogna. And he had posted pictures of his children, and when people took screenshots of these posts that he had made himself voluntarily and criticized him for publishing personal information like that on the internet so recklessly, he decided that he would file with the United States Copyright Office as a part of the Library of Congress his family photos so that he could try and use that to DMCA pictures of screenshots, derivative works off the Kiwi Farms. However, I'm smart enough to know that when somebody screenshots something and provides commentary, that's doubly complicating in terms of a transformation, and I denied his request. However, since then, he's always hated us, obviously. So he is now a member of this law firm that Liz Fong Jones is directly funding. He has had multiple instances with Cusk, and he is using them as a legal point of contact at this point. And what they've done recently is they've gone out of their way to try and dox somebody. On the Kiwi Farms, we had a user who joined, and he claimed to have been a employee from Google at the same time that Liz Fong Jones was active. And his story in regards to Liz Fong Jones was that Liz Fong Jones was a menace. He was super active in all the parasocial things like the LGBT internal Google forums and stuff. He was always looking for problems to cause. He was always looking for people to get fired. He was just like a terrifying presence. Everybody tried to actively avoid him. And now we can know why, because after this guy told his story, Liz Fong Jones decided that we would go out and, as I'll read here, a huge thanks to Catherine Tucson and the team at Cusk Law for the support of the past years, but especially the work in the past few weeks to stop the harassment at its source. And it says the tech employees who use Kiwi Farms. So he's trying now, because he can't get us deplatformed, to solve the problem by creating an ideological purity that anybody who does anything unrelated to their work that he does not like, he will hire Cusk to write a huge expose for and publish on his LinkedIn a direct tag to who he thinks they are, and accuse them of being evil Kiwi Farms Nazis, and then publish exposés which get hundreds of views on his LinkedIn to try and make these people unemployable. So that's his current tactic. And again, if the Kiwi Farms was doing something like this to random fucking people, it would be a big deal. But Liz Fong Jones gets to post it on LinkedIn. So that's how deep the double standard is. And in case you're wondering, Liz Fong Jones has a direct tie-in to Blue Sky, because when I registered an account with them, and my handle was just joshuamoon.bsky.app, I posted nothing, I liked nothing, I followed nobody. And I posted my handle on the Man at the Internet thread, said, hey, I have an account on Blue Sky now, just so you know. And it got banned. I've tried to appeal it like 3 different times. I've never gotten a reply. So Liz Fong Jones definitely has somebody in that company. And he is trying to organize a sort of anti-Kiwi Farms thing on Blue Sky. Like, he's trying to turn the entire app into his personal army. Before I go into that, though, I have this lined up. This is a more recent thing. But this is a 105-minute long read discussing problems in the C++ community. And I definitely read all this. I did not take this link and feed it into artificial intelligence and then ask it to make a podcast for me to listen to at 2x speed, so I wouldn't have to read 105 minutes of tranny diatribes. Definitely did not do that. I definitely did my due diligence and read the entire fucking thing. The summary of this is that this tranny wants to this is Straustrup, who is, I think, Swedish or Norwegian, and he's one of the core developers and mentors of C++. And this is the tranny that wrote this 105-minute long fucking diatribe. And basically, what the tranny wants is for C++ to have a built-in borrow checker similar to Rust. It's a very technical point of contention, but I will say that borrow checkers are a current trend in technology. They have a lot of things going for them. However, they're very hard to please. They're very strict. So a skilled programmer can get by without using a borrow checker, but the borrow checker basically forces you to do things in a certain way where applications are inherently safer. And because Rust is so popular, C++ developers are thinking, hey, maybe we should implement this feature that's extremely popular in Rust into C++. And then the core developer, Straustrup, says, no, we're not going to do that. Or if you want to do that, it can be a library, but we're not going to do that in the core language. And what did he do wrong? He told a tranny no. Now, trannies, of course, know everything, and therefore they always get their way. And they're definitely not just man-children and sex pests. They are real people you have to take seriously. So when he heard that Straustrup said 9, or whatever they say, or neg, or whatever they say in Norwegian, he's like, okay, I'm going to write a 105-minute long fucking manifesto about how effectively... Okay, this is true. This is true. I remember this from my podcast. Okay, so the main point of the thing is that the good old boys from back in the day have these tired old ideas, and they don't take trans women or minorities seriously, and it's really holding the language back. And I didn't get my way, so that means everybody else is wrong. But then, literally, it was a 13-minute long audio clip that I got from the machine learning thing that summarizes the post, and it spent at least 4 minutes of that 13 minutes talking about how this person was making an analogy between the C++ community and Dark Souls. How C++ was like this dying world, this ancient, glorious world that was in its decay form, and how being a C++ developer as a transgender minority or like a black person is like being the hero in Dark Souls. So you get up and you go, and then you die. You get swatted down by the big monsters the big guys, Strauss Troop. And Strauss Troop goes boom and smashes you, and then you die and you respawn. But do you give up? No. He's strong and powerful. This is Isabella Muerta. And then he goes back up and takes another swing at him. Die, Strauss Troop. This is just like Dark Souls. And eventually you win. Eventually you triumph and bring light to the universe and make everything good again. I'm not joking. I think actually, let's just go here. I'm going to type in Dark Souls. There we go. Look, an entire chapter with oh my god. And music. That's how you know it's fucking serious. This analogy isn't just an analogy. It's a philosophical treatise about tech bros and how sexual minorities and people of color need to be given voices because they have points to make too. You can't just sit complacent in this dying world. You have to bring up the torch. You have to show them the way, even if it hurts, even if you get swatted down over and over. The beautiful new faces of our society need to be given the power to make the changes that they want to see. And these two faces, they're going to do it. They're going to bring the light to Dark Souls plus. That's what's going to happen, chat. So obviously, if Liz Fong Jones thinks that he's going to root out all the fucking chuds when this is what the base trannies are fucking doing with their time instead of programming shit, like in the time it took to write this fucking garbage and accuse everybody you don't like of being a rapist and not knowing what Dark Souls is, you probably could have wrote a C++ library to have a borrow checker. I was going to say it. So, next, as hard as this, Liz has set up a, as I mentioned, he rebranded Drop Kiwi Farms in Kiwi Farms. Drop Kiwi Farms was Keffels. When Liz Fong Jones hijacked it because he hated Keffels, he made it end Kiwi Farms because it wasn't enough to get us dropped. They had to end them once and for all. So the what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. Okay, so after we didn't get ended, it's kind of embarrassing because if you look at Liz Fong Jones's actual profile, he has a thing where he's like, I led a anti-harassment campaign called In Kiwi Farms. It was on his it's a part of his fucking CV, his portfolio. So when you have this thing called In Kiwi Farms on your CV and you're like sending that to people who try to make money and deals happen, but then people can just go to Google and type in Kiwi Farms and find us, it kind of makes you look like a retard and a failure, right? So he rebranded In Harassment or In Networked Harassment so that you can't search networked harassment and find networkharassmentfarms.net and have that be the result. So he made an account for this, and he's really trying to revive this. So he's hired people to be a part of the organization. He's already of course, as a training developer, the first thing he did is write like the rules for like the tribunal and for the code of conduct. So he has his tranny husband, or no, sorry, not his tranny husband, his tranny boyfriend on the board and some other retard. And they manage the block list, and there's like a protocol that they have to follow. So when Liz Fong Jones blocked Catherine Lorelei, who's somebody I talked about before, he said, "Sorry, I have to recuse myself from making this block list judgment call. I will defer to the other two members of the board to decide that if Catherine Lorelei belongs on the Kiwi Farms provocateurs block list." So that's the level of retardation. You have a organization that's funded by a significantly wealthy tranny. The first thing they do is set up the rules and regulations of it. He puts his own friends into the board, and then he has to recuse himself from making decisions in regards to a block list, and it has to follow some bureaucratic path to make sure that's the right decision. And then, of course, it is because Liz Fong Jones gets his way all the time, but he has like a layer, like a veneer of accountability there so that it doesn't look like he's just fucking around doing whatever he wants, which is the reality. The issues that he's having is that there is somebody making bots, which is just like some guy trolling, and then the bot, because of how Blue Sky works, he can just like post, so he's just liking post with like troll usernames, and then Liz Fong Jones is freaking out because that archive that you see there as the name, I think there's a big picture for this. These are all, number one, okay, hold up. The archive that you're seeing there is the one where he admits to a consent accident. By the way, I think that if you type in consent accident on Blue Sky, there's an automated mod bot that automatically bans you. Because again, Liz Fong Jones has a connection with Blue Sky's administration. And they know that the terms consent accident strictly refer to Liz Fong Jones explaining that his rape wasn't a rape. So that's like an automatic ban term across the platform. This is the block list. You didn't see that one, John Potter with the serpent. Like, and then there was somebody who was freaking out, a tranny, like, there's the Kiwi. I shit you not, guys. I think this is something I talked about last time, but I'll reiterate because it's very funny. You see that picture there? Someone gets followed or gets liked by KiwiFarms.net with this picture, and the tranny freaks out and is like, I think that a Kiwi Farms troll using child pornography as his avatar liked me. There was a very sketchy, minor-looking person. I think it was cropped from child porn, and they're using that to try and trigger the transgender folks on Blue Sky. And if you don't know, that picture is me. That's a picture of me. I'm like 15 in that. I don't know why. I think this was something that got posted to Blockland when I was like young. I think I sent a picture to a girl or something. I was holding up a sign and I wrote something on a piece of paper and I was making like a cheeky face while I took this selfie, and somehow this got posted on the internet and now it's posted on Blue Sky. And it's triggering trannies into thinking they're watching like cropped child porn. It's like, no, that's just me in my hoodie. I think I'm sitting in my grandmother's kitchen in this photo, holding up a sign that says something about like an e-girl. I'm pretty sure that's what's up. Blockland. How do you not know what Blockland? How do you listen to this podcast and not know what Blockland is? Oh, I like this. Matcha69 tranny retard flags says, I was watching this earlier. The open receipts are important. Open receipts are important because an accusation is not credible without proof of it. Like this, like right here, open receipts. And the lack of proof can cast doubt in the whole situation. Sarah, spelled incorrectly, says, very. Laps also has open receipts, which I think is good. Others may disagree though. Right now, with the no trust environment, I think receipts are a good idea. At least the being able to publicly see what material led to a mod action, and maybe mod notes for big cases. Mod notes. Dude, they're so bureaucratic. This is the thing about trannies, is that they have like infinite free time because they'll never reproduce and they don't like establish family or community bonds, and the only thing they do to go outside is to have like sex in public places and to get AIDS and eat shit. So when they go home, that's like this perfect blend of like goon sessions and then alternating between like bureaucratic shit like Wikipedia and moderation actions on Blue Sky. I will never show people moderator logs for the Kiwi Farms because it's a bad idea, in case you're wondering. Like, unless there's some barrier of entry where people can't just make alt accounts. Like, if I had like a public log, it would just be like the same people registering literally 8 times a fucking day because people would read the logs and see the ban messages and be like, oh my god, that's so funny. And they would just keep doing that forever. It's like a terrible idea. It's like you're giving attention to people who are banned. Like that's what they want. Like on something awful, it kind of makes sense because you have to pay $10. So if you're willing to pay $10 to keep making accounts 100 times a day, like okay, great, go for it. I don't give a fuck. I'll keep banning you. But when it's like free, it's like an awful retarded idea. Next, okay. So this is some of the fallout from Catherine Lorelei being placed on the Kiwi Farms provocateur list. The trannies are like, hey, we don't know you. I don't know how you got into Blue Sky and then immediately connected with the administration and then rolled out your network harassment shit and set up a block list. Now we're all supposed to trust you and like you. Demon Core Vital says, wait, getting my initials confused. Catherine Lorelei is who I'm thinking of. Liz Long Jones says, yeah, she has no involvement. She sexually harassed one of my current board members, and that was that. I think Lorelei's domain was yif.com. Original OP was about whether this block list should contain yif.com, then it tangented into whether Catherine Lorelei has any affiliation with harassment or me anymore. So there's all this confusion and friendly fire going on. Kate says, I'm confessed reading the document I got invested in the why, but I think you're on the right post. It doesn't matter. I'm glad they unmasked him, and I unmasked. Okay, here's food for thought. I'm going to read this and we'll get back to this. Liz Long Jones says, I'm interested in the general pattern of why, but it could help stop reverse radicalization, but we'll never know for the specific individual. Okay, so their word for doxing is just unmasking. Like, when you dox somebody that you don't like, it's unmasking. When someone doxes somebody that they do like, it's doxing and it's a crime. And I am going to necessarily, not because I want to, because I have to. I'm going to have to come up with a rule, to say, like, we can't say dox anymore. And I know that sounds weird, and let me explain myself. It's not because I think that public information should not be public. It's that the word itself is now an issue. Because there are two definitions for the word doxing. The word doxing, as it is used on the Kiwi Farms, is unrelated to doxing as it's used outside of the Kiwi Farms. Doxing on the Kiwi Farms just means publishing public information. That's it. Doxing, as it's used outside of the Kiwi Farms, is a illegal form of harassment where it's usually somebody who has privileged access to information releases that information in a way specifically tailored to cause emotional distress or problems for them. So the original use that has been used since Encyclopedia Dramatica and before has been finding public information and posting public information, aka unmasking, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. The way that it's used now, in the majority of contexts, in the newspeak way, the abduction and reappropriation of this word is that you are doing something, you who has a direct connection to somebody, who has a direct reason to harass them in the traditional sense of the word harassment, which is, i.e., a neighbor posting somebody's information online, like, hey, this guy plays his music too fucking loud, also he's a Crips, and also he's a pedophile, or whatever the fuck. Like, that's harassment, and you could also say that's doxing if you include an address. So we have to find a way to make our use of the word doxing align with the public concept of the word doxing. And I don't know, I don't have a good answer for this. I brought it up in the mod forum, and the mods seem to like the word unmasking, because that's then taking the tranny term and making it ours again, which is pretty fucking base. But unmasking sounds kind of cringe, because it's like, it has like an implied vigilantism to it, which I don't like. I kind of like 411 as a word for it, because that's already like a slang word that doesn't have a particular connotation, like you get the 411 or whatever, you 411 somebody. I also like phone booking. That was the word that I came up with on my own a long time ago, but it never caught on, so I can't really force that. I think when I make the decision, I'm just going to offer some suggestions and hope that people decide on their own which one they want to use. But it has nothing to do with the act of republishing public information. It's entirely about trying, because the thing is that doxing is now a crime when you talk about like the legal definition of internet harassment. And when you say that you allow doxing, people are going to think that you mean the actual crime of internet harassment rather than the old school internet term that only has one X. That means republishing public information. So, as they say, it's their world. We're just living in it. So we have to find a way to adapt and survive. I think it would make our lives easier down the road to simply get with the times, man. Skeeting. That's a fun word. That's more fun to steal than unmasking. Like, we skeeted this guy. Here's Ethan Ralph Skeet. He lives here in Yucatan. Yeah, we skeeted Ethan. That's funny. Just fucking nonsense words. Yeah, something like that. And to round this off, this is what I was talking about with the bureaucracy shit regarding YIF.com. A member of the in-network harassment board has spoken to her via jane.post.ing as a mediator in order to hear her side. The board will confer tomorrow morning whether to remove her from the block list, as no single board member can make such a decision. It's been a long day, and we need some Z's. The 3 board members have discussed, and on the basis of the new information learned last night, have decided to remove YIF.com from the block list. A fuller explanation and clarification of blocklist criteria is forthcoming, but not from yours truly, as I am too close to the situation. Liz Fong. So you run a block list on a fucking gay, retarded dating app for trannies and communists, and dude, this is how they want to run everything. If Liz Fong Jones had his way, he would run like a Marxist tribunal in fucking China or some shit, and he would be like, I see that you have applied for another ration of rice. It's been a pretty busy day, so the board will confer tomorrow after some V's, and then we'll decide if you get another helping of rice. But I'm too close to the situation to make a decision by myself. That's our future if the fucking trannies win. Okay. Actually, I will briefly, just so he can make an appearance. It's been a while since we've seen the news hamster. Bam, there he is. I got some news for you guys. Kind of related to the internet drama stuff. But Cockley is on high alert. And this actually was so long ago that I don't know if it's still on high alert. It may be. Let's see. It is. Okay. So Cockley is a very beloved small independent email service ran by Vincent Zen. No. Zen, the other one. Canfeld. Sorry. Zen's the Australian one. Canfeld is the Romanian one. He's American, but he lives in Romania. Vinny from Romania, I knew him back during the 8chan days. And he, I came up with this term to describe his service because a lot of people loved it, and it was a way, basically, it was a way to get an email account without having to dox yourself to a provider. Unmask yourself to a provider. And that was so fucking sarcastic. Anyways, people like his service because you don't have to send them personal information or have a backup email or a phone number or whatever the fuck to register. So a lot of people use it. However, he has gotten in trouble with the law before. He took a trip to the United States, and the Department of Homeland Security detained him to ask him questions in regards to Cockley. I think they even seized hardware that he had on him, but it was all encrypted, so he just burned the security keys that were on those devices. Then when I knew him during 8chan, his services have a very high level of transparency and quality that are the kind of things that like tranny devs could only dream of. Like when Liz Fong Jones sets up a 24-member tribunal board to review block lists, like the kind of transparency, openness, and commitment to quality is like something that someone like Vincent Canfield just does inherently. Like he provides you security keys, PGP signs, everything. You have a way to contact him securely with an encryption. He publishes transparency notices on the dime every day. Like he's just that kind of guy, and everyone loves his email, except the government, of course. So I gave him the term ironic or no. Oh, I forgot it. I had it in my head. and then I lost it. It was like ironic professionalism or sarcastic professionalism. It was like a term for somebody who actually does do like a very professional job at what they do, but they do it kind of like tongue in cheek. Like if you have a professional mail service called Cockley, it's like, well, it's obviously like a fucking joke. Ironic professionalism is what I think I came up with. And he was very ironically professional about his email stuff. For the first time in many years, 11 years, something has happened, and he has not actually said what, but he warns that there is some kind of government tampering with his email service, and they are trying to pressure him into do something, and he refuses. So he's up to no good. I've reached out to him. Hopefully I've gotten him started in the right direction to deal with this. I'm very eager to hear. He's not giving me any updates, but I did try to help him out, and I hope that things are proceeding to a fruitful conclusion. Because I do like him, and I like Cockley. He hosted VPSs for a while, and I think we used his VPSs, but his data center told him to get rid of us. He did try, though. Okay. This is a brief update on British dog torturers. Adriana Orma and Holly Legresley are in jail, and if I remember correctly, they were... What were they actually involved with? They were involved in the monkey torture stuff, and I think they were just selling it. Like they were paying people in Indonesia to kidnap the monkeys and torture them on video. Then they were selling it. And one got, I want to say, a couple of months. They got like less than 2 years each. I want to say that one got 12 months and the other got 15 months. Hold up, what's the end of this? Oh, it doesn't say. I posted this on fucking... Okay. Let me look this up, sorry. I posted on fucking... I'm pretty sure it's 12. So, what stuck out to me, though, is that they're, like, involved in, like, setting monkeys on fire to sell them to people who, like, jerk off to that. Like, it's fucking insane. And they got less than people who hate speech. Here we go. Oh, one got 2 years and the other got 15 months. And here's a picture of them from a court artist. So one of them brought the cane and tried to look extra crippled and gimpy. She got 24 and she got 15 months in jail in the UK. Really kind of crazy how little time people get such obvious sadism. Because, you know, when someone's a sadist like this and they like to see living things suffer and agonize, it's always just a skip away from humans. Like the kind of dark triad personality traits that draws somebody to something like this is the same kind of stuff that allows them to act cruelly towards other people and towards children especially. So it's always kind of weird, especially when the UK hands out 7-year sentences for hate speech. You get sentenced to like a decade in jail for leaving pork on a fucking mosque doorstep or whatever the fuck. Really a victimless crime. But the monkey people get... Cool. This is Torswats. I don't think he's been sentenced yet, but the Alan Winston Fillion, known as Torswats, who I believe still is the guy that swatted Marjorie Taylor Greene, has formally entered a plea of guilty. And I don't think, he has not been sentenced yet. They have, by the way, Jackie Singh and Patrick Tomlinson, who both accuse Torswats of being a specific Swedish man that they believed used the Kiwi farms. Neither of them have retracted their statements. So they're just like in copium, where this guy has literally pled guilty to doing the things that they're accusing the Swedish guy of doing. And they're just going to keep saying that he did it because they don't want to be wrong about something because they're retarded. Ain't that something? I hope that he gets raped by black people in jail, as is American tradition for people who swat and try to blame it on me. Good fucking luck. Meanwhile, Jackie Singh, while not retracting her defamatory statements in regards to tour swats, was in bankruptcy court. I believe she's living in Puerto Rico, but she attended bankruptcy court digitally to complain about how she has no money and it's everybody else's fault. Bernard M., who went by Stealthy Geek 6, I don't think he's actually related to the Stealthy Geek though, attended the bankruptcy hearing via Zoom and reported on some things that had happened. Here are his notes. He says, "Are you planning on taking legal action against the stalkers?" And then she says, "I am going to take criminal action against them. In fact, I have an open case with the FBI." The judge asks, "How many subscribers do you have on your blog?" And she says, "Let me just show you, so I don't have to say the actual number." So Jackie has a Substack that you can subscribe to. And this, as a source of income, is something that the judge was interested in to evaluate how much money that she actually has. And she was so embarrassed by the number of paid subscribers that she has on her premium Substack. And she knew that A-Logs would be listening to the Zoom conference bankruptcy hearing, that she insisted that the judge actually physically look at the papers and not read them aloud so that nobody would know that she has like 3 people that give her $5 a month for her writing, despite all the effort that she's been putting into it for years. Now that's fucking down bad. He says that she tried bringing up terrorists again and got shot down by the judge, now discussing the blog. She says, "They posted so many lies about me, including financial lies, and some of these are advanced financial lies." There was an awkward silence, and the judge asked the next question without acknowledging the subject's previous psychotic statement. In the play-by-play, the first 10 minutes are nothing interesting. "Why did you file for bankruptcy?" Falsely accuses the husband of abuse and gives a non-answer. Dan Mullen, Bernard Murphy, our boy right here, John Gibney, and Robert Prongay are stalking me. Now, if you don't remember, there was a time where, what's his face? Patrick was talking about how Richard Prongay was like his lead troll and how he was like a big shot mafioso. And I just remember thinking, like, you're like such a fucking, his name is literally Dick Gay Porn. And you're saying that he's a mafioso after you? How the fuck can you be so stupid to think that this is actually a real person? And then I was promptly corrected that there is, in fact, a guy named Robert Prongay, and he was a mafioso in Canada, or in the US, or whatever the fuck, but he's not actually involved with Patrick, so I don't know how the fuck that's a thing, but it is a thing. And then he's happy that all the A-Logs got named. So that's what's going on with Jackie Singh. No retractions, but very, very fat and brown and poor. Okay, so in the Patrick case, if you don't remember, he is suing the city of Wisconsin, the police department, and several actual uniformed officers for civil rights infringements in regards to him having been called, having emergency responders called to his house, I think by his number, like 50 plus times. So he sued, and he's actually made it past the first hurdle. The judgment here was just that. To say, response: defendants lack information as to whether the acts qualify as domestic terrorism and lack information about who is carrying out the alleged campaign of domestic terrorism. Defendants lack knowledge or information sufficient to form a belief about who is committing the swatting. So this is the police saying that they don't know who's swatting him or doing what, and they don't know if it would constitute domestic terrorism. This response seems like it's a interrogatory when you submit like your questions to a defendant. The police are unwitting actors, and I think what ended up happening with this is that they ended up dropping his complaints against the city itself, but he still has outstanding, like his case is still good to go against a bunch of the I think the police officers and also the sheriff's department, and I think one charge stuck with the actual city. So Tomlinson's actually making good progress on his civil lawsuit for the swatting stuff. And quite frankly, he's in the right. I'm gonna say it. If the police know that he's getting swatted over and over again, and they're still sending people over, they're still putting him in handcuffs, and they're putting him in duress at random hours of the night, and they're not doing anything proactive to stop this shit from happening, they're at fucking fault. And it would be just desserts if people who were swatting him, because they hate him so much, ended up giving him like $1 million settlement. Like, that's just desserts. That's fair. Like, if you're gonna fuck with somebody like this using the police, and they're gonna be complicit in it, and you're just trying to hurt him, and then he ends up as a winner as a result of it, like, there you fucking go. There's a reason why the Kiwi Farms does not tolerate any of this fucking bullshit, and you never know how this shit ends up. You don't want to fuck around with it. You don't want to see this happen. He told the officers to leave, but they refused. Response: admit, but further, defendants affirmatively allege that Patrick was unreasonably loud, boisterous, appeared to be intoxicated, and was otherwise disorderly while hurling insults at officers. The injuries or damages, if any, sustained by plaintiff were caused by the whole or in part by the acts of omissions of the plaintiffs. Despite this, officers pointed guns in her face, ordered her out of the home, and then searched the home. Response: defendants lack information and knowledge sufficient to form the belief as to whether Nikki and Patrick thought and therefore deny. Yeah, these responses are bad. They're like copy-paste and they don't make sense. Yeah, the cop attorneys are like the fucking corrupt union police officers and their attorneys in Milwaukee. They don't have an attorney that can actually answer these. I'm just saying, I don't like Patrick and he hates me, but if you're swatting somebody, you know, the comeuppance is that he wins. Nikki Robinson and Patrick Tomlinson are the targets of vicious campaigns of domestic terrorism carried out at the hands of bullies. We can't say if we know this is terrorism. For a moment, Nikki and Patrick thought the menace was in. That's a bad interrogatory. Nikki has called the FBI, telling them the same thing. We don't know that. But I thought this would be the judgment where it says that the which cages were dropped. But in summary of this is that their defense is that Patrick was like a retard, so they were in the right, which is probably your best defense. And then Shane Edward Noakes, who's a super internet tough guy who had a brief crossover with Patrick Tomlinson, has had his Zitter account suspended after a complete tart out after Trump won. As we all know, anyone who can get their Twitter account suspended in this day and age must be a full-on fucking retard. Pants on head, fucking shit-chucking ape. Can't hold his spaghetti together for even a nanosecond. Okay, next. Goodbye, hamster. Thank you for your participation. I don't know what any of this is. So, back in the day, we had a sub forum very briefly for a guy called the Mysterious Mr. Enter. He is a cartoon reviewer. He's like an adult man, mid-30s, reviews fucking cartoons for a living. By the way, subscribe to my Gumroad, because I will be doing a Gumroad review of, was it Moon Girl and like Devil Dinosaur or whatever? There's like a tranny episode. I mentioned this in the Tuesday stream, but just letting you know I'm doing a cartoon review. Anyways, he's a fat, retarded, he's not fat, but he is like an autistic cartoon reviewer. And for some reason, like cartoon spurging is like a thing that we just accept as a society. That there's like grown men who watch cartoons and then review them as if there's like as if they're like a serious form of media and not like slop for children. So there were a bunch of spurgs that hated him and then made like a whole big thread. It was like one of the fastest threads on the entire forum. And then I gave them an entire board because it was like, I don't know who this guy is, but you guys are crazy and you guys are posting so much. So here's a board. It was the worst board on the site. It was like uncontained fucking feral retard autism. I shut it down and I basically ended up having to ban everybody. There were a couple survivors of that and they're still around to this day. But they were the minority and they were good even back in the day. So, anyways, I'm gonna watch this 2-minute long video. And I have no context for this. I just know that Mr. Enter made it. So let's take a look.
Now, a lot of people have been asking about my side projects, and I promise this is going to be interesting, and a lot of people have been curious. Let's start with growing.
Imagine watching a 60-minute long video where this autist fucking voice that can barely say any word correctly is talking about SpongeBob SquarePants and how the earlier seasons were better. That's basically a thing that happens and that people watch by like the millions. That's how down bad the West is.
Around, because I've been getting a lot of questions about that as of late, and I've been neglecting to answer them for various reasons. Because growing around is in a nebulous state right now. So what people don't tend to know is that it is a joint creation, like legally, meaning I share the copyright with another individual. And to protect the names of the not so innocent, we'll be giving them an alias. We'll call them Douchebag. If you're wondering what Douchebag actually did or didn't do on the production, it's not quite important, but to make it short, his job was something like, tell me everything that you've come up with about all of the characters. And then when I do tell him, he ends up saying, the document I gave him is too long and he's not reading it. His other job was saying that he had a bunch of problems with the production, but never actually articulating what his problems were. And then one time he went away for a few years, but randomly decided to come back after I assumed he wanted nothing to do with the project, and then wanting to change everything because he was gone for 3 years and everything changed. Also, another one of his jobs apparently was taking advice from Kiwi Farms. Allegedly. But legally speaking, he has just as much right to do what he wants with the property growing around that I do, because legally it is a joint creation. And he's using that right. Ever since I kicked him out of my life for going on transphobic rants and posting about Jewish conspiracies on Twitter, he's been using the characters to make a comic full of slurs and everything. For like 2 years now. Specifically to spite me. Because I'm the autist here. So I decided to step back from growing around and not work on it anymore. But I have been coincidentally working on another series about a world where kids are in control that has absolutely no relation to growing around, legally. While it is on the back burner at the moment, I do think that it has potential, especially because I have legal sole ownership over this one. And this one takes place in Las Vegas.
Well, there you go. The king nerd bullied into submission, having to hide from his own intellectual property because for whatever reason he randomly assigned it to some fucking guy who doesn't want to work on it. So fucked, cucked, shunted aside, made a casualty of his own existence. Sad, chat. Couldn't be me. And next, now this was a big update that I'm sure a lot of you guys were listening for. I'm going to give you what you want. That's right, it's the Destiny update. The Destiny update, the big one. Brittany Simon, who I think was somebody that worked with Destiny in the past, basically confirmed that Lauren Southern and Destiny were in a relationship. That was kind of like a rumor for a little while. But, she confirmed it. I think this was even something that some guy called Blab had been posting about in the thread. Now, this is the only Destiny update that has happened at this point in time, which of course is Friday. Surely there will be no other Destiny updates that I'll have to talk about on Tuesday. None whatsoever. No way, Jose. Destiny's a pretty slow burn. I don't think there's going to be any more potential drama by then. Yeah, it was alleged for years, but now it's confirmed. Which, I mean, okay. Can I do a poll? I haven't done a poll in forever. I haven't streamed in forever, so I guess that makes sense. Let me do a poll real quick. I need to know, chat, of what your opinion is on this. Is it worse to get blacked or destinied? Question. Blacked for vote 1 for black, vote 2 for destinied. We're gonna solve this one once and for all because I honestly, there's kind of that doesn't work. I forgot. Okay, let me do it in this chat. Poll: is it worse to be blacked or destiny? Question mark. Vote 1 for black. Vote 2 for destiny. So here's the thought. Okay, chat. Both of these are quite terrible. I actually sat down And I pondered this, and I thought, okay, Lauren Southern, she like fucked up her whole life because she dated this Chinese Fed. She had like a half Asian boy with him. And then he was like, oh, well, I care about my career more than I care about my wife and child because I'm a soulless Fed. And every single person who works for the federal government and takes a paycheck from the federal government is a lifeless automaton with no soul, who lacks the spark of Prometheus, who lacks the love of God in their heart, and they will sell you out for a nanosecond because they're a clay golem and not a real human being with love and life in them. So it should have been pretty obvious to her that this Chinese Fed would do such a thing, but it was not. I don't know. Being rice is not quite as bad as being blacked, but being destinied is a conundrum. Because here's the deal. Even if we couldn't say that Lauren Southern being destinied is like the worst fucking thing ever, the fact that we know now, oh god, I can't talk about this. Because that would cause a space-time continuum issue, chat. If I said what I was about to say, the timelines would merge, and I would know things I don't know, and that would cause the actual universe to fucking end. So we're just gonna have to work with the information that we have right now on Friday, chat. It's a time paradox, exactly. No. Yeah, I gotta be careful. Okay, I'm ending it there. Based on the information that we have on this lovely Friday, being destined is still worst. Okay, I will come back to that on Tuesday for whatever reason. I don't know why. I just have a feeling that I will. Okay, so Twitch has once again updated its policies as a result of what they're calling the Twitch adpocalypse on Twitch. Twitch streamers are reporting that their incomes are plummeting across the board by as much as 75%. Some people are happy. They're saying, hey, my income has stayed the same. Well, it's Black Friday. In Q4 of the year, your income should be the highest that it is all year. People are spendy. They're looking for things to buy. Advertisements get clicked. Advertisers are fighting for space because their ads are getting clicked. So it's real fucking bad over there at Twitch, and the Twitch CEO has responded by making Zionist a slur. It has always been said by Jewish people that a roundabout way to criticize Jews and to be openly anti-Semitic is to simply replace the word with Jew with Zionist. No, of course not. I don't hate Jews. I would never say something anti-Semitic. I'm just anti-Zionist. I hate Zionists. I think that Zionists belong in a camp. I think that we should open death camps for Zionists. But Jews, I got no issue with those guys. So Hassan Piker has liberally made use of this Swaparooski deal going on, and apparently that is no longer going to work. The Twitch CEO has decided, actually, what we're going to do now is Josh Reed chat. Yes, Omger. Yes, I fucking do. Don't question me. And now Omger has completely fucked up my stream because I don't remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, okay. The Twitch CEO has decided no more of this. Hassan Piker, we've caught on to your fucking games, and you will no longer be allowed to just replace this Jew with Zionist and get away with it. It's Jover. So now I don't know. Maybe Hassan Piker can go to Kick and fuck that one up for us. Nathan, by the way, that would also be a time paradox. I'll leave that for next stream. Nathan Grayson has written in defense of Hassan Piker. And this is relevant because Nathan Grayson, if you don't remember, is one of the main Gamergate guys, which is just embarrassing. Like, he's still around. And his website, by the way, is called aftermath.site. And I have a theory. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pull up the whois for this domain. I'm 99% convinced that this will be registered after Gamergate. And the aftermath is literally the aftermath of Gamergate. That site, who. See this bad boy. Aftermath.site. What's our whois for this? Registered on Namecheap. Good choice. Would recommend them. Registered on the 2023. That's like 10 years after Gamergate. That's embarrassing. So it's like 10 years after Gamergate. Now we have Nathan Grayson. Yeah, dude, he is so look at this motherfucker in like this magenta fucking suit with this turquoise necklace. He's so fucking gay. And with his I voted sticker microphone. I hate Hassan. I hate him. Little Turk roach. Anyways, he wrote this big ass 105-minute long article about how great Hassan Piker is and shit. Nobody fucking cares. You know why nobody cares? Because Nathan Grayson's writing about fucking Keffals. He's doing a book about Twitch streamers. And his book is going to favorably mention and have an entire chapter on Keffals. That's how down bad Nathan Grayson is. This is like the digital equivalent of giving handjobs under the bridge. He's giving handjobs to like every famous dick willing to get near him. Even Keffals. Even Keffals is getting a little bit of a little schlick. Nathan Grayson, this is from June, says, "This is a work of journalism. Each chapter reveals a lot you don't see, even if you watch these creators every day. I did not just talk to the creators in question. I interviewed friends, family, fans, editors, experts." I said carpets because I was thinking in my head reading this like, did you interview the carpets that Destiny cleaned? Oh yeah, dude, Destiny, he's a real thorough guy. The carpets never got as clean as when Destiny was around. When that guy left, we were never the same. Our business was never as good as it was when Destiny was cleaning carpets. Critics, Twitch executives and staff, and more. Oh yeah, I'm sure. Ask the Twitch execs what they think about Hassan Piker. I'm sure they'll really fluff him up. What a great guy that guy was. We loved him. Do you think that Nathan Grayson got to experience the fart throne POV? Do you think he got the full Queen Keffals experience? Oh, I would read the book if that was a chapter. What it was like to be Queen Keffals' fart throne for a day by Nathan Grayson. Truly a place, only a book that a journalist could write. Styx. Okay, this guy who I have confirmed, by the way, is at least somewhat close to Styx. Somewhat. I can't say much more than that. Published a series of logs from Tarl. And we'll read them because I think there's some pretty damning stuff in this. Samantha says, and to him, Tarl says if you'd like to interview him to send a DM on Twitter. I'm sorry for peeing in your shampoo all those years ago. Because I was a child. I'm going to start inviting people to your party. That sounds lovely. Tarl wants to know if he could possibly bring a friend or two. I don't know how many people you're comfortable with at a party. They're talking about arranging a party. His fear keeps creeping in. Tarl making a fool of me. He says he didn't. No one thought you were made a fool of. He says he grabbed my boobies on a live stream. Oh, this is that woman. He says, I'm just trying to keep myself grounded in a belief. That's it. The comments of everything is mind-blowing. All I did was show up and try to watch the debate. I really don't know why Tarl wanted me on, but apparently his fans hate it. Yeah, people don't like it when the girlfriend shows up on a podcast. Like, that's a thing. Like, when there's like a relationship, there's like a dynamic that's not the same dynamic that like a person normally has. It's like if you have like a couple on a stream, it's like a different person, you know. It's like one person and it's different from like whatever you normally listen to. Every time the girlfriend shows up on a podcast, it really fucks up the whole vibe. Let's see. What's the vibe here? Figure out what the fucking... That's me messaging his sister. Why is he accusing me? He says, I've been treating him like shit and I don't want to be with him. He's always drinking. And this guy is trying to tell him to be patient, which is a bad advice. He's going to have a restraining order. He can't contact me and not the hotel anymore. He was arrested for battery. Oh, so it was the booby girl that pressed charges on him for battery. Okay. He assaulted me and he's held a gun at me twice in the past and threatened to kill me. I don't want to talk about this with anyone but Megan, his mom, and his wife. I wasn't screaming at Tarl those times. This was the first time me the first time was me making a comment and explaining what I meant by it, and became absolutely livid pissed. I accused him of, I'm assuming that says grooming his niece. Because you don't tell children you can do whatever you want as long as nobody finds out when they aren't your own child. You don't sleep with an 8-year-old child that isn't yours when you have a piss fetish and she wets the bed. Just because she's scared of the dark, like, no. So I was concerned and brought that to his attention, and he threatened to kill me and was throwing things at me like my brass singing bowl. That's what I mean. The depth of this guy's capacity for evil is terrifying. I have a lot of grace for him, but I will draw my sword at some point. I wish him nothing but the best. This is real. He is fucked. Should have joined the Fediverse, bro. I warned you. It says, I've seen so many people subtly advertise I try suing him now for all he's done, and that's what's creeping in my mind out of fear. I don't want to do that. I don't know why people think that's the answer. I don't feel as if Taro wants peace, he wants chaos, and it interrupts my peace. I'm so confused, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I feel like he keeps using love as a means to keep me around for ulterior motives, so he can use me for sex and complain and essentially company and essentially my energy, and I feel trapped. But then I'm told I should detach from my feelings because while we have fun, I feel so exhausted and in pain from everything I've gone through, and I feel so detached from my kids. Oh, she has kids. Oh yeah, that's right. She does have kids. I remember talking about this. It's so painful, and this was way more attention than I've ever wanted, and so much chaos energy. He doesn't want us to be apart. It's not to not be so consumed with my thoughts about it and be able to just enjoy what I have. I don't think I can do that with a man like Taro because it doesn't allow peace to enter. He finds joy and pleasure in darkness. She speaks. I say that. But then I want to believe he will change, but he never has. He's nearly 40. I can fix him. I can fix him. Where is this? Oh, yeah. Okay. He's a master manipulator. He would say the same things and talk to me and talk to himself in circles, and I just got annoyed and walked away. He doesn't want to sacrifice the cigarettes or alcohol. I never agreed to such a thing. I could probably cause... It's probably because I watched him say all the same things to Liz, to me, to so many women. He refuses to leave now. He says he just wants to make sure I'm taken care of and happy because I deserve it. And he held back sobbing, saying he never wants to hear that I'm homeless ever again. It's really emotional when logically, holy fuck, this man has hurt me in so many ways that are painful and supposed to be... And I'm supposed to just let God and Jesus heal that with time. He's ruthless, vindictive, terrifying man when he's angry. They're staying in Louisiana for 10 days at this point. I don't know when this was from. She appears to be making... I have no idea what the fuck that is. I'm not even going to guess. Blah. A heathen. This is weird. She writes. Feelings are capable of making you believe that you're strong, knowing, and kind, but that's knowing. I don't. I encourage him to feel differently. I do that poorly. Everyone keeps saying you can't serve two masters, but they don't see that Satanism and Christianity are two of the same. I'm afraid that this woman is cringe. I'm afraid that I must reduce the amount of capacity for suspension of disbelief that I have in her story because of this cringe chat. It's my verdict on this. Blah, blah, blah. I say embrace sin. Well, you know what? You know what, Samantha? I've got for you an opportunity of a lifetime. Right now in Spicer, Minnesota, there is an absolute stud open to swinging with his wife, willing to walk that line between Satanism and Christianity with you. Now, if you're willing to take me up on this offer, I can have you sent to Minnesota today to embrace the dark side and have a lot of fun. I think that this will work out well for everybody involved. Okay, this is just talking about Satanism, which I literally could not give less of a fuck about. But I think the main point of contention here is that she alleges that Taro made inappropriate comments towards an 8-year-old, slept in her bed like Michael Jackson, and has a pee-pee fetish, but also intentionally slept with a child who pees in the middle of the night, as children sometimes do. Which is a bit fucking weird, but the narrator is a little bit unreliable in this instance, so I will leave that up to viewer discretion. Next, speaking of Spicer, Minnesota, we have Rekieta Law, who has been posting in Patrick Melton's chat. If you don't know, Patrick Melton is a pedophile who is now associated with Juju the Cow, as is a lot of pedophiles for whatever reason. He's been sending money to Patrick Melton to get his word out. This is what he's had to say. Wait until everybody hears what makes him insta-nut. I bet that's funny. Maybe life and relationships are really complicated. People want to control mine. It's weird. Also, he really liked hearing about my kielbasa. He lives in the present, and his brain... talking about Aaron Emholt, the former husband of his girlfriend, April. He lives in the present, and his brain rewrites the past to suit his present. I legit don't know if he is conscious of it. Aaron threatened me with a baseball bat. He's told this story live. He's nervous because he wants to talk about Kayla. Amazing that he says that he won't tell another person's story. I think I've talked about this before, but Rekieta and Aaron have confirmed that they've seen each other's cocks, and I think that Aaron has eaten his cum. These are just his regular messages. Arguing with people. Oh, here we go. He paid her into a joint account. And remember how he accused her of stealing his money. Embrace being a cum-eating cuck. Another fun one for the toe. He took the cum right off her chest. Ew, that is fucking nasty. Old people are gross, man. It's fucking... Hey, Melton, according to Kiwi Farms, we are the best friends and hang out all the time, apparently. I am so glad to be your best friend, and thanks for all the files and hard drives. Hi, Nick. Thanks for the files. This is from Vito the Pedo. Great. Cool. 2 pedophiles. Awesome. 2 for 1, chat. This is a... God, this is a... Let me guess. A little schlip. I got some tea. Now, Rekieta says, Dear Diary, another week has gone by, and I continue to marvel at the way the lowercase I internet processes information. I'm also haunted by specters. Not ghosts, but figurative projections people place. It tipped off for me when someone claimed that me letting April live rent-free in a house was abusive because I didn't supply the house with lowercase I internet. Well, which one? The specter of addiction allows people to self-justify any thoughts or words towards the alleged addict. There are several other specters at play currently, but right now addiction is the hammer in search of nails. Once you are labeled something sufficiently, the reality of your circumstances are irrelevant. The label is all that matters. It's why Trump was so effective at eliminating his competition. He branded them simply and effectively. The brands of addict or alcoholic are used to strip the humanity from the branded and used fallaciously as trump card in any discussion. The addict is never allowed to deny the branding. Denial is a sign of addiction, after all. It's true, it is. The brands justify condescension and any removal of autonomy necessary to prevail over the addict in any disagreement. The brands also justify any imagination someone has about the addict. They must act in this way because they are an addict. It is a matriarchal specter that births and nurtures further specters. That is a fucking cringe line. I'm sure he has that tattooed in Chinese on his fucking ass cheek or something. He's just whining like, oh no, my addict fucking behavior is getting me labeled an addict. This is so cruel and unusual. I can't believe this is happening to me. Like, yeah, bro, you act like a fucking addict and everybody sees it. But you're in denial. You don't see it. So it must be like, oh my god, it's everybody else who's wrong. This year has been an object lesson in bad timing. That said, the assumptions about me, my family, my vices, my physical and mental health, and etc. are often distorted, exaggerated, or downright fabricated. It is going to take me a lot of time to try and correct the ones that matter, but I will try. To those waiting for accountability or apology, etc., I'm sorry, you're going to have to wait a bit. The closure of my criminal case is necessary to speak candidly, and I believe candor is necessary to build trust. I have made some poor choices, and I've had some unfortunate variables in my equations. These things combined to bring my life to the brink over the course of this year, but the circumstances and story that brought them about may help people with perspective. I am well aware of my mistakes and failings, but people confuse being muzzled with not being accountable. These are not the same, though they may create similar impressions. I am accountable to many people for my actions. I am not accountable to a ravenous mob on the lowercase I internet. Nonetheless, please do not confuse delay with denial. Some people just have to wait to be done properly. Very cool, Ricada. He's haunted by Spectre. Spectre's pockmarked face haunting, torturing him, poking him with hot steaks, going hee hee hee. Jabs in at him. Take that, Ricada. Another specter haunting him is the state of Minnesota, who has denied, capital, all capital, bold text, denied his petition for discretionary review. Now, as a recap, when Ricada filed his response to the omnibus during the omnibusin, he went for a Frank's hearing, which is like a shot in the dark. He's basically saying that the cops lied to get a search warrant, and therefore all things in the search warrant are fruit of the poison tree and should be thrown out, which is basically the same as winning your case. It was a long shot, and it didn't work. And moreover, because he only asked for a Frank's hearing, he did not get to make many other pretrial motions that would be intelligent for him to make at that time. The judge explicitly, in his response to the Frank hearing discussion, said that no other pretrial motions were allowed, which left him in a very disadvantageous position proceeding in his criminal case. So, what he did is filed for a petition for discretionary review. And this is a very, 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 very unusual move. In a civil case, it makes sense pretty often to file for an appeal if you're unhappy with the decision of the court. It does not make sense in a criminal case because generally the courts want you to go through the process, be found innocent or guilty, and then petition for review after you are found guilty and you have been sentenced. Because there's lots of stuff after that you might want to file in one go that then gets reviewed. And that's how they prefer it be done. Because if you file all these pretrial appeals and then you get found innocent anyways, well, you just wasted everybody's time. So the petition for discretionary review, as it was explained to me by a Minnesota attorney, is that you file it when you have a very good chance of winning, and also it makes sense to do it before you're sentenced or found guilty, because the process would be punishment in and of itself. And the number one reason to file for one of these petitions is for double jeopardy. If you are found innocent or guilty of a crime in the United States, you can never, ever, 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 ever be tried criminally for anything related to that incident again. It is constitutionally prohibited. It is a part of the Bill of Rights. You can never be tried for the same issue twice. Even if it is a similar issue, like if you did a crime, but you did two crimes, and you are sentenced in regards to the first crime, but they forgot to charge you for the second crime, they can't go back and say, wait a second, he also did this, so we're going to try him for that too. That's also double jeopardy. You have to bring everything related to that incident to the court when it happens. Otherwise, you're just fucking with this guy beyond what's reasonable. It's cruel and unusual punishment. So, if you went through the process once, you're out, and then they're trying to fuck with you again, you then file for a petition for discretionary review so that the appellate court says, hey, wait a second, what he's asking for. But rather, it was a particularly bad petition for discretionary review because he just wasn't exceptional. There was nothing exceptional about his case that would warrant allowing him this exceptional review. And yes, I saw that I disconnected. I think that is... Let me check real quick. Check if this was an obstruction from Starlink. Might be a good warning shot. Time to wrap this shit up, retard. Uh-oh. Saying that it's unavailable. Scares. Try refreshing the dashboard. Uh-oh. Saying it's disconnected. Just to repeat myself in case you didn't get to hear. His argument was bad, not just because it was bad, but because he didn't really explain why he deserved an exceptional rehearing. It was not. There was no issue whatsoever. With the Starlink, that was just Restream fucking up. Okay, great, cool. Next, let's unpause. Okay, great. Next is an Austin update. Now, I have to warn you that I am aware that we are, there's a time paradox with this. Austin had a court appearance on the 14th, which is what is that? That was so long. That was the second Thursday. Not last Thursday, the Thursday before then. Austin's attorney showed up and he asked, Locale Supreme's actually attending in court. Like, he's going to the trial. I should give him a sticker for that. He's been going to trials and court reporting. And he overheard a quick conversation between the defense attorney and the prosecutor. The defense attorney, Brian Jones, asked the prosecutor, who's a woman, by the way, and, you know, DTPN, if you know what I mean. Not N, because she says no fucking chance. No chance that he's getting bond. Scott and Diane showed into the courtroom, the second row. The inmates were in a different seating area. Austin waved to his mom and dad. Oh, that's cute. And said, hey. And then the bailiff said, no waving at your parents, you dumb piece of shit. That's sad. Why are they like that? They can't wave like, hi, hi. Like, why can't you do that? So mean. What mean bailiffs? His attorney talked to his parents. Austin, he greeted the judge with a appropriately good morning, Your Honor. Here on the main event. His father tried to stand near him, but the bailiff physically blocked him and told him to sit down again. Huh. He had never seen this before, and it might be because Austin has a protective order against his own father as a result of his physical contact with him that he's being tried on. We sent him to treatment, and he was kicked out. He has a drug problem, so what do you suggest? The attorney tried to make a case that the letter report was unclear what happened, and the judge says, but he didn't finish treatment. Joan then tried to rebut, saying Austin was suffering from mental health issues, but is on medication and is stable now. But he might also have a drug problem, and he's only in for a possession charge. So, as in, he's not a dealer, he just has a problem. The judge asked for the attorney's position. The attorney said that Austin was non-compliant with pretrial services, meaning he was not good with his probation officer, was kicked out of the court-ordered rehab for revoking a second bond, and while out, picked out 3 other charges, including eluding and domestic violence. The judge had heard enough and was very pissed off, with a very pissed off tone, concluded, what precedent does it set if I send someone to treatment and they get kicked out and I let them go home to their parents, and denied bond? To the preliminary hearing for drug possession charge itself, and the next date for the court officer, and nothing else was discussed. He is being held without bond. One day, chat, one day he will be free again. Mark my fucking words. I don't know how I know that, but I just fucking know that. Okay, let's get some Reddit stuff done. Let's round this stream out. I do have the super chats from the Tuesday stream. I did not lose them. I will read those first when we get to the super chat segment. Thank you, by the way, everybody. I appreciate it because moving is fucking expensive. Okay, so Reddit. I got a couple things for Reddit, actually. Pretty beefy stream. Even without all the news, there's so much beef. Our polyamory, 33M. My wife, 29M. I think he meant F there, I'm going to assume. Started seeing another man, 39M, and he voted for Trump. Rant vent. It's driving me insane. My wife and I have been married for a few years, and throughout our marriage, we've always been monogamous. About 6 months ago, she mentioned the idea of bringing in another man to the relationship to spice things up. I hesitantly agreed. We found a guy on Craigslist. It was pretty fun at first, liberating even. The three of us had dinner together, watched movies, played games. The sexual stuff stayed separately. Although, admittedly, I feel like I started getting less. That's outside the scope of this post, though. Fast forward mid-November, I made a joke at the dinner table about how finally the fucking Cheeto is going to be out of office. The new boyfriend, who's always been nice to me, told me, "Shut the fuck up, you fucking liberal pussy." I was taken aback by his sudden anger. He's much larger than me. This is fake as fuck, by the way. He's much larger than me, so I looked at my wife as a plea for help. She just continued eating, trying to act like nothing was going on. I did not know he was a Trump supporter. He even made a joke about him in the past, but then proceeded to tell me that he actually voted for him. Long story short, after he had left for the night, I told my wife that we can't associate with him for obvious reasons. This is where it got bad. She defended him and told me that I was being disrespectful for not understanding that some people have different political views. I kept insisting that he's a white supremacist and a racist, and she said he wasn't. My wife has always been very liberal and anti-Trump, just like me, but now she's defending the fucker. The literal fucker. I told her we're done if she doesn't stop saying him. After a few days of fighting and her continuously saying things will be fine, I packed up and left, thinking she'd finally comply. Now, I've driven by a house a few times, and his pickup truck is always parked there. In fact, I think he's fucking moved in. What the fuck do I do now? Great Rage Bait, Chicagoland Native 93. That's a real sounding name, though. Chicagoland Native 93? 4 years ago? This is an old post from 2020. This could be real. This has me thinking, chat. Okay. Trolls have weaponized the block list. Oh, this is Kiwi Farms. Blue Sky Social, Kiwi Farms is making lookalike block lists. Users beware. Blue Sky user endharassment.net has confirmed that Kiwi Farms is making lookalike block lists that show the blocking of MAGA, Nazis, etc. and are slipped in prolific trans creators and other leftists. This is the next phase that Kiwi Farms members have stated they will do, constructing lookalike block lists and then having popular trans people to them after the fact. Once the block list is seeded in the community, make sure any block list you use says who runs it. Only trust the official Liz Fong Jones block list from End Harassment. Sub for Indians to discuss plans and experiences about study abroad. And then so this is R Indians _ study abroad. Why the Indian hatred and racism going on in communities abroad? There is one thing that I wanted to read to this, actually. It was like a low... Oh, here, this one. Vabe Hava Alpha Male says, because Indians start dancing wherever they want. They don't immigrate to learn the culture at all. They bring the Dehati culture with them. And even though we hate with them, which even we hate as Indians in ruined developed countries, if Indians start to assimilate with their culture and catch their accent, they start to bully that person and make them feel guilty for not talking with Pajit accent. If you really want to bring your Dehat culture, then stay in Vishwaguru. Nimcha says, you hit the nail on the head. There was a guy... Oh, here we go. I feel the main issue is instead of adapting to the new culture and mannerisms, we just do whatever we were doing in India. Jaywalking and stuff. That's true. I hate jaywalkers. That's a euphemism, by the way. Jaywalkers are the fucking worst. They're absolute fucking scum. Like, no cap, for real and shit. I have seen recently that some government had to spend millions because of the pan stains in public places. I mean, you are destroying another country, you came to get a better opportunity. They're creating a nuisance everywhere. People are bound to hate us. Dude, I didn't even know what the fuck pan stains were. I looked them up. Indians do this thing where they have their own chewing tobacco, where they chew these extremely toxic nuts that are like so acidic they like rot your teeth. And then when you spit them, it's like this brown goo that's acidic and it burns everything. It doesn't matter if it's like a metal surface or what. It like burns brown into it and it looks absolutely fucking vile. So they just walk around chewing acid like batteries everywhere they go. And then they spit it onto walls and floors and bus stops and public apparatuses. And I've never even heard of that, but it's fucking vile. They're fucking great. They do. They spit acid. They're like the fucking aliens. And they run around going, sir, do not redeem. Do not redeem. And then they spit acid at you if you try to defend yourself. It's horrific. And then this. Okay. Oh, that's... I clipped that thing that I was trying to find. Oh, no, this is a different post. This is a reply to this one, actually. This is one right here. It says, to be honest, jaywalking isn't a big issue except in places like Singapore, but you're right about the pond stains. I live in a Canadian city with a big diploma mill, and I was shocked that the bus station here is filled with pond stains and littered food and wrappings. Littering is a big problem with uneducated Indian students here. I've seen some Indians, even some of my friends, peeing out in public when I ask them not to. Many of the newcomers talk loudly on their phone or put songs on high volume in buses. Bro, I think it should be immediate deportation. Burn the passport even if they're a citizen. If you listen to music on speaker in public transit, you're not a human being. You don't get to fucking act like a human being. You don't get to pretend to assert to have rights like human beings. You gotta fucking go. I don't give a shit where they're deporting you. I don't give a fuck if you lived here for the last 8 generations. You're going back to the Congo, okay? I picked the Congo as our designated dumping ground for fucking retards that listen to music on the public transit. Which disturbs other passengers, and sometimes the bus drivers even ask them to stop talking. They dance and obstruct the way at the Yonge Dundas Square every weekend. The lack of civic sense is a big issue with Indians. Then there are too many scams committed here, which makes my blood boil. I can promise you without the shadow of a doubt that jaywalking is not the reason Western... Dude, I hate jaywalk. I remember in Pensacola one time I was driving at night. I was just like, I was just driving down like the highway. It was late at night, and when I worked for the Australians, I would take midnight drives pretty frequently just to clear my head because at night was the only time it wasn't so fucking hot in Florida. So I would have my windows down, I'd be listening to music, driving down the highway, enjoying my time. And I remember that there was this black guy jaywalking middle of the highway. Like I don't even know where he was coming from or where he was going. But I was driving up, my headlights on, and because he's black, you can't see him. Like it's nighttime, he's on a black road in the middle of the night, and it's like I can't fucking see you. And I was driving, and I didn't see him until I had to slam on my brakes. But he did this ape thing where he just like asserted himself by like blocking the road, like daring me to hit him. Like, what the fuck are you doing? I don't know. It really pissed me off. Like, what a fucking retard thing to do. Just like a complete demonstration that you're mentally fucking ill. That you get in. Cool. Okay. Well, that's the Reddit segment. Let us flip green, and then I will read the super chats I missed from last week. Very happy to be able to stream again. Of course, I missed you guys in my chat. Kurt Eichenwald, Anime Masturbator, last week said, Glorious Kiwi Emperor, I will miss you next month. As a tribute, I will burn all the $5 I would have sent you in a small pile. Thank you. Thank you, I don't know what the word for, like, student is. What's the opposite of a sensei? They just say, like, chan or kun if it's, like, a student, right? There's no, like, an opposite sensei. Thank you. Kurt Eichenwald, a hamburger for 2 says, Kurt Eichenwald, put all those $5 bills in the back of a stake.com. Casinos always lose. They exist to pay you out. Get it, twisted rat. True, he should. He should just double his money every time that I would have streamed. And then if he has money left over, he should give me what's left. Good idea. Good Luck 7 for 1 says, you should have the theme song remixes into different genres for different days of the week, or maybe put for different types of streams. Oh, like the music that plays from the federal American government? I could. I was thinking I need to commission like custom music though for when I get back. If I want to make like because the copyright shit's so fucking. I contacted Brian Ellis who did the MDE soundtrack and he didn't reply to me, so I guess I don't get that. Maybe he's like traumatized by MDE and he refused. I mentioned that I knew of him from MDE. Maybe that's why I didn't reply. Humble Guardsman for 1 says, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. Base, stay mad all the time. Sneedo for 2 says, the average Blue Sky user, terrifying. And then there's a Catbox file. I'm going to open this trepidatiously. And it doesn't need to appear to be the average Blue Sky user. I'm cute, but I wish I passed. His name is McNutt, and then the guy replies and says, "No, that joke is too easy." Paste. Good luck 7 for one says you should. Oh wait, I already read that. My hamster is a turf for one says, "Are you really banned from MasterCard and Visa?" Not formally, but if I ever try to open a payment processor, it gets closed, like spontaneously. It happens over and over again. If I'm on a list, they'll never tell you. That's part of the thing. It's a trade secret. They'll never tell you. Eric George for 10 says, "Yeshua, clarity on the King of Pole lore, please. Was the first miscarriage a lie that he found out a beard and had kids while being closeted bisexual? And sex pest can't answer, draw an outline of your junk." And then there's a penis thing. I don't think Brian has ever posted his kids online. He says he has kids, but I don't know for sure. Just a famous butt for one says, "How much do you think the ADL would charge for Hate Vision? $14.88. $14.88 rather. I don't even know what that means. What's Hate Vision? I must have made a joke about that last stream and I forgot about it. Probably not $14.88 though. Probably a lot more. You'd have to subscribe for like $40. It'd be like a government service. Schwarzwald Null for 9 says, "Thoughts on News Hamster being nominated for an Emmy Award for his 2024 election coverage? Well deserved, though I don't know if he should accept it. He doesn't want to be mislabeled as a journalist." Devious TV for 2 says, "Ghost canceled his show tonight, so here's $2 I was going to give him." Oh, what a show you got. You got 2 canceled streams that night. You got fucked. 11th Circuit for 2 says, "Nice sneed." No, it was not a nice sneed at all, but thank you. Space Allen for 20 says, "Ham Jam." Thank you, Space Allen. I appreciate it. Brianna Wu Hyper Bimbo for 20 says, "British life is absurd, and the BBC has done the world a public service by documenting the most absurd. The law of ancient lights." Okay, let's see. Hopefully this is short. It is not. I'll give it like 30 seconds.
This is Melrose, a substantial Victorian villa in the village of Bacton-on-Sea on the east coast. It was bought 3 years ago by Mr. Max Jenkins, and since then he spent a lot of money improving it. For the £3,500 that he paid for it, you might think that he got something of a bargain. But there's one big snag. He can't look out of his window. The view that Mr. Jenkins should have of the sea is totally obscured by these boards just 3 feet from his window. And it's not only the ground floor window either, for at the top of the telegraph poles are more boards which block the light and the view from the upstairs window. And if you're wondering why on earth Mr. Jenkins doesn't remove the boards, well, the answer is that he can't, because they're not on his property. In fact, they're on land belonging to his next-door neighbour. And if you think that his next-door neighbour has every right to protect her privacy, well, of course she has. But she doesn't actually live here. Nobody lives here. And except for a few weeks in the year, this house is empty. The owner of the boards restricting Mr. Jenkins' view is Miss Day, who lives 20 miles away in Norwich, where she enjoys unrestricted views from her windows of her neighbours in Cecil Road. It seems that you're in the most
Yeah, I would probably fucking shoot her. I think that would solve the issue pretty succinctly. Just letting you know. There's a saying in America: guns make good neighbors. And that's a true fucking statement. Because if you had guns in that country, you ain't erected no "fuck you" billboards right in front of people's windows. Because you get shot in the fucking head. That's why we're so fucking nice in the U.S. He did look like Abe Lincoln, you're right. The false copy of Senator for one says, "Halloween hoodie is very comfy. Thank you, Silver Coin Run Win. I would actually spend like $1,000 of my savings on some more Kiwi coins. Maybe soon. I have some ideas, but now's not the right time." False copy of Senator for one says, "In regard to Doge, don't act like you wouldn't make a Sneed federal department if you could." Maybe I would. When you put it like that, it's a good point. Bill Collins for $50 says, Get another Cat 5 cable, Kang. Those Serb Uber squirrels in your attic chewed through the last one. Sure as fuck was not the cable. I did check the cables. Actually, this will cover the cost. I am buying a big Ethernet cable. I appreciate it. I will definitely spend this on Cat 5. It's already spent, actually. David's S877 for 25 says, fine, no cheese of the month club. What do you want for Christmas? Oh, man. Look, if you actually want to find me, like a place to buy a delicatessen that's like actually good, like American made cheese that's actually worth the shit, go for it. Post it in the Maddie thread. I'll buy it. Ben Collins for 20 says, by the way, some of your buds at the SBLC found themselves in a pickle. And then there's a link to the ABA Journal, which sounds like a legal journal. Lawyers representing transgender plaintiffs face possible sanctions for alleged judge shopping. A federal judge in Alabama has directed 11 lawyers to show cause why they shouldn't be sanctioned for alleged judge shopping in lawsuits challenging a ban on some gender-affirming medical procedures for transgender minors in the state. District Judge Lyle C. Burke of Northern District of Alabama. 11 lawyers out of 39 appointed for the plaintiffs tried to circumvent random case assignment procedures. The report was conducted by a panel of 3 Alabama federal judges after Burke expressed concern about judge shopping. You know, we gotta do something about federal judge appointments. They're for life, and federal judges are fucking retards. We gotta get rid of them somehow. Good, fuck the ACLU or SPLC or whatever. Fuck both of them. Green Bee 95 for 20 says, for Josh, sorry for the trouble. Thank you for your pity. I appreciate it. Ballistic Characteristic for $50 says, hey Josh, put this towards Maddie Moving Fund. Looking forward to your return to the US and how the show may change, if at all. I do have some ideas. I want to change it just a little bit. By the way, I am accepting, for the first time, Amazon gift cards. I'll also take Walmart and Lowe's. And I guess maybe Best Buy, but Best Buy's been like a bitch. I would just prefer Amazon. Actually, I already have. I got a lot of people sent me cards, so I've already picked out the furniture and shit I want. I'm sending it to a place where I can pick it up, because the Black Friday deals are really good. I'll basically have an entire office of furniture waiting for me. Thank you very much. Foxes for 5 says, at the risk of sounding like a Redditor, every time there's a new competing thing designed to reduce competing things, you'll always end up with competing things plus 1. That is the premise of an XKCD comic that is very famous. Currently, there are 20 standards. We should make a new standard to replace all those standards. Next thing, there are 21 competing standards. Grim Reeker for 10 says, I'm a General Services Administration contractor and have a job interview tomorrow to get back in the private sector. Pray for me, bros. Good luck, bro. Don't be a Fed lackey. So I will say, like, the GSA is one of those administrations I give, like, a pass. You have, like, the National Park Service, the USPS, the Postal Inspection Service, the GSA. There's a couple federal agencies I give a pass to. The GSA is one of them. All they do is, like they build office buildings to spec and shit. I think they also work the security. Like, if you walk into a federal building, you have to get checked out. I think those guys are also employed by the GSA. I don't hate the GSA like I hate the fucking FBI or the CIA or whatever. GSA is the General Services Administration. It's an administration you've never heard of, but they're very important. They're kind of like a nexus between all the administrations to reduce overlap and compete. It literally exists to reduce competing standards for different government agencies. For instance, if a government agency needs a website, they contact the GSA and they make the website to spec. The GSA made a template for websites that's like super accessible to like handicapped people and stuff. It's that kind of stuff. It's very boring, but it reduces government waste. Not a very exciting place to have a job. Euclid Sneed for 10 says, Sneed, here's your Zitter link. And then there is a BIPOC racism post that I'm trepidatiously opening up. BIPOC doing racism. I've been searching high and low for this video. Shout out to Hey Wesman for posting it. Okay.
A territorial dispute has escalated into a full-blown shootout. A rabid she-boon has urinated in a rival's nesting area, and all hell has broken loose. A Zogbot steps in and douses the she-boons with a potent negroid repellent made from liquefied job applications.
He sprays them all with that pepper spray and then just walks away. He walks away like he's just like, if you imagine like a Janny with like a pokey stick walking around on like a lawn poking like Whataburger wrappers and putting them in a trash can. That's the same level of investment that this cop had in macing down 5 black women fighting each other.
Mother's Day cards and paternity tests. If he had gotten any closer, he would have surely contracted AIDS. They've been stifled, but their feral bloodlust has not been sated. Another Zogbot hits them with a blast of extra-strength negroid repellent. It is a powerful hallucinogenic that makes them envision a world without welfare and watermelons. A territorial dispute has...
That's pretty racist. I disavow. Thank you, Eugelist Need from last week. Ben Collins for $50. Oh, I read that. Sorry, a lot of these are repeats. I'm trying to spread them out myself. See, these are all repeats. The Lion King for one says, sorry, Jersh. Thank you. I appreciate your pity. Monero Extremist for one says, those that can't watch live can't send super chats on Rumble, but with Monero super chats, you could send them whenever. Now, that's a very tempting point, actually. You make money from live streams and not after. It would be nice if people could send super chats between streams, because they would do that when I had the Russian service. Sneedo for 2 says, the Coomers have taken a side, and then there is a Zitter link. Hayasaka Arian says, imagine making the Karen racist transphobic character more iconic and liked than your diverse cast. And then the Coomers have decided that Karen is more attractive. Dude, the black people in that show, the browns, it's just all browns. Like, oh, one wears they all look the fucking same. One wears a hijab though. One's a tranny, but it looks normal. Casting Couch Grab for 5 says, now that I've gained a taste for goat cheese, what other types of cheese would you recommend? Try Limburger. If you're not eating stinky blue cheese, you're missing out. Thank you. Saltier for 5 says, card posting made a dog whistle one-on-one episode on you. Which is this? I'll just read the title of it. I haven't even finished last week's. Oh, Janny. Here, I want to hear how this is a dog whistle.
Put, in the terminology of online alt-right trolls and provocateurs, Janny, or janitor, is a derogatory way to refer to any given website's moderators and rules enforcers. Naturally, online trolls hate anyone whose role is to prevent people from ruining a website or a forum with their presence and their actions.
Yeah, basically. Holy Hal for 5 says, hope you're having a great week, Josh. Reminded, but always, I'm not. Keeps having to drive through the West Virginia mountains in a semi. Not fun. Sounds pretty fun. Driving a semi. What's wrong with that? Sounds like making money driving a semi. Sneedo for 1 says, hey Josh. Well, thank you, by the way. Says, I'm wondering if you have talked about the CEO of Polymarket being raided. I have not. I heard of that about that, but I wasn't particularly interested in that. I'm sure he was raided for unlicensed gambling and cryptocurrency shit. That's not much of a head scratcher. Eugelist Need for 1 says, stop accusing Elon of murder. He's fucking with your Starlink out of spite. It does seem to be that way. Casting Couch Grab for 10 says, this is from an Undertale mod where Kamala Harris fights Trump for the presidency. Started at 5:30, watch 30 seconds. You guys were so fucking optimistic that I would be able to watch videos and stream them last week. Like, what the fuck? Okay, so this is from a Kamala Harris Trump Undertale mod. That sounds exciting. It does sound like him. Nice. Is that how Donald Trump beat Kamala Harris? I can believe it. Judy Hester for 5 says, I was going to jokingly say that Liz Fong Jones board has me, quote, me, myself, and I as other members, but then remember that he has multiple personalities, so he probably believes that. Also, I hope he tries to dox me next. Snake emoji. Yeah, that's the other thing. He had to stop doing that because it was too crazy. And he realized it looked bad. But never forget that Liz Fong Jones literally said and forced people at Google, tried to force people at Google to ask him who was presenting and what their pronouns were every time they talked to him, so that he could say, I'm a snake girl today, and my pronouns are thir. Fucking disgusting. Fucking monster. The Orange Cow for 5 says, fun fact, Asmongold has previously worked for the IRS, and that's why he's going straight to hell. Okay, this week's Super Chat's great. Running right along. The Humble Guardsman for 5 says, today's stream is brought to you by Mr. Aborti Squate, #1 Starling CSR for 3 months and counting. Let's all take a moment to thank her. No, dude, you gotta thank Chad Thundercock, the level 2 CSR rep who actually fixed the issue. Eric George for 10 says, Yeshua, have you tried appearing offline to fix your streaming problems? I have tried appearing offline. I tried restarting everything a million times and it did not work. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. Dante for 5 says, Medicare Masochist for 2 black hookers. I'm scared. Where does he get his coke? B-jams. I'm aware that there are some other things that have happened that would potentially cause a time paradox, but if you're wondering why I did not mention those certain things, that's why. Sneedo for 10 says, Catbox file, I wonder how much that 4K is worth now.
These are the refugees. Ooh. Oh, by the way, someone paid me for $4,000 in Bitcoin to say ooh on stream, so I just reminded myself to do that on accident by using it organically. All the poor refugees ooh. And Destiny is more Bill Maher aligned, where his.
Well, this is from 2023, so it would be worth twice that much. I spend a lot of the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency that I get. If I had all the cryptocurrency that I've handled, I would be extremely wealthy right now. Back in the day when I lived in the Philippines, I would get thousands of dollars when it was worth $100, and I would sell that at Padalas and to make ends meet. But I don't regret it because it's like, you have to spend it. If people weren't using cryptocurrency as a currency, it wouldn't be worth anything. So I'm Space Monkey, shot into space. It was because I was an early adopter. I took it and I spent it like money that it has value at all. So you may thank me if you're Bitcoin wealthy. You may thank me for being one of the people that gave it the meaning that it has. It's my fault. I did it, and I don't get to benefit too much. Except that, I did. I got what I wanted out of it. I bypassed the banks, basically. I didn't get to be a billionaire, but I got to get by. Space Allen for $500. Speaking of getting by, Ham Jam, thanks. Happy Thanksgiving a couple days early. Chicken leg and metal devil horns hand gesture thingy. Moving is a pain in the ass, but welcome home, man. I appreciate it very, very much. It's so fucking expensive to move. It's actually jaw-dropping how fucking expensive everything is now. I haven't even gotten there, so I don't even know how much to bitch about how expensive things are. I have an idea, though. I'm already thinking about how I'm going to bitch about it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. David S877 for $25 says, what's your least favorite old Natty so far? The only ones I skipped after starting was Pad. Really? You skipped Pad? That's a person stream. That's a good one. Least favorite? I don't know. There are lots of streams where I'm not in a good mood and I'm just like bummed out about stuff, and I don't know. I don't like streaming and bumming people out. I wish I had been more of a positive polyhole. But thank you. Sneedo for 10 says, I found the Asian boss man. Then there's a YouTube link.
Know anything?
I don't know anything.
What were you doing inside?
Just drinking coffee.
Not gambling?
No, I don't. What? This is a coffee shop. There's no gambling. I don't know anything.
I don't know. What happened inside?
I don't know. I don't know nothing.
Don't say nothing, man. Don't say nothing.
Don't say nothing, man. That's weird, but okay. Don't say what that's about Boss Man. I guess because it's a gambling den. Boss Man would be like, "Damn, that gambling nice." He wouldn't hide it. The false copy center for one says, was there any specific motivation for the Sisyphus boulder being pushed backwards? That was the first thing that struck me about the logo. It's a bit odd, to be honest. I wanted to show struggle and the pushing backwards thing, because it's not just like, it looks like he's not just pushing it, he's holding it up. He's preventing it from rolling back. I really wanted to capture like the actual struggle involved in pushing it, because it's not like I don't want to. It's trying to strike a balance between strength and weakness, where it's like you don't want to make him look so strong that it's not like a challenge, and you don't want to make him look like it's so weak that it's hopeless. So it has to look like a really difficult thing that's still possible. Banana Plugs for 2 says, I'm glad you're back with us for a week. You're still my favorite non-Slav always. I'll be watching the VOD in the morning. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Asian Tech Support for 5 says, fatigue. I know that feeling. Kurt Eichenwald, Anime Master professes, glorious Kiwi Emperor. Why are people coming in their pants over Starlink? You know, we had satellite lowercase I internet before Elon stuck his greasy Dunning-Kruger fingers into the pie. The reason why Starlink is a vast improvement over prior satellite internet is that things like HughesNet launches permanent orbital satellites over the equator in the outer atmosphere. And these will stay in orbit forever, but in order to get access to them, you have to point your dish towards the equator. And because they're so far away and they're so far above the Earth's orbit, the latency is something like 500 milliseconds for every packet, which is just so, and it's very slow. So it's like a horrific browsing experience. Starlink is a network of satellites. I think there's thousands of them, and they are extremely close to the biosphere. So, not the biosphere, but the thicker part of the atmosphere. And they skim it, and they're not permanent satellites, and they're very small. So they actually do burn out, and you have to continually replace them. But the result is that the satellite link is omnidirectional, and it's very fast. My ping to nearby websites and stuff is milliseconds, the same as a wired connection. And that's entirely because the satellites are not just so close to the Earth, but they're so close to where I'm at, and they're all over the Earth. There's I think 60% of all satellites that exist right now are Starlinks, and they orbit very quickly, and the connection is continuously changing. It's a very interesting setup, and it's a extreme improvement over the prior permanent satellite setup that satellite internet had. So there you go. Steeds Feed and Seed, formerly Suck and Fuck for 1 says, I hope Chris Chan's Finnish GF isn't pregnant. Imagine having a Finn as a parent. Gross. That's a pretty good joke. The other joke that I saw that made me laugh was someone replied to my Zeet from the Kiwi Farms account, and all he said in response was, congratulations. And out of the hundreds of replies that post got, he was the only person to say that, and it made me bust out laughing, because it's like, what a normal response to something so extraordinary. TP Deluxe for 2 says, Maddie on a Sunday. We live in strange times. Happy early Turkey Day, by the way. Someone mentioned this, but I passed up Sunday as a streaming day because when we first started doing Man at the Internet, Jim streamed on Sunday, and I was friends with Ralph and other people. So I actually chose Wednesday morning as the time to stream originally, so that I would not interfere with other people's streaming schedules. That's how far back the weird scheduling thing for the Man at the Internet is. And then I changed it so I would be doing it twice a week, and I had an issue where I couldn't stream on Wednesdays anymore. So it's been a sordid history. I think, and this is something for you guys to think about over my break, is when I should stream. And if you want, you should voice your opinions by email or on the Gumroad or whenever the fuck. We're in the Man at the Internet thread. I'm very strongly considering something like 4 p.m. on Friday Eastern time, and that would be 10 p.m. Europe, and I would only stream once a week. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I haven't decided on it yet. I might do it on the weekend, earlier or later or something. That's where my thoughts are right now. Mr. Manchester for 10 says, let's all be thankful for the strong, independent, beauticious black woman who helped this honky stream. That's true. She did fix everything all by herself. It's 100% accurate. Thank you. Sneedo for 1 says, it's all ogre now. It's only just begun. Anime Extremist for 2 says, if you had to choose, would you rather have a son or a daughter marry a typical British person or marry someone who likes anime, works as a VTuber? A British person. What a retarded fucking comment. Like, there's a chance. Like, I don't know. There's a chance, especially if it's a son marrying a woman from England. Just take her out of England and then teach her how to cook properly, and then you have like a functional relationship. But like a daughter marrying like a weeaboo, oh my god, that would fucking nauseate me. I might have to shoot him. I'd be going to jail. Sorry, boy, you watch some fucking cringe ass cartoons. I gotta blow your fucking brains out. Let me sit on your face, Josh, for 1 says, who has the bigger schlong, Ralph or Destiny? I am very happy to say I have not seen either of their penises. I've gone out of my way not to see it. Monero Extremist for 1 says, XMR chat just did an update to set a minimum amount people have to send you, so you won't even be bothered by very small amounts if you don't want to. And then there's a link to XMR chat, bro. Okay, I give up. Over the break, I will find a way to get XMR chat integrated into the fucking stream thing. I promise you. I'll figure out a way. If you want to email me a way that I can suggest people buy Monero and as painless and frictionless as a process as possible, I would appreciate it. Coliadante for 10 says, British accent. Do you realize that if the colony of Gloucestershire on Earth sees those videos, they can condemn our government housing? Sorry, I can't. It's too retarded. I can't even do it. Thank you. The False Copy Center for 1 says, Jen Medicare versus Jen Sterling wheelchair wrestling match win. Oh, no, that's a fight of a century. I would commentate on that. That's the wrestling match I'd look forward to. Chloe Dante Professor says, Liz Von Gender's womanhood is a lot like Dark Souls fictional. Rotten and putrid, too. Humble Guardsman for 1 says, they gotta go for a ride on the choo-choo train. There's no other way. I like choo-choo trains. I would agree with that. Steed Speed and Seed, formerly Suck and Fuck for 1 says, if Troon STD out, ack, end. True words, never been spoken. Holy Al Professor says, I hope you're having a good day, good day, Osh. You are my neighbor always. Glad you were back. Thank you, Holy Al. I appreciate it. I am back, and I am Osh. Lucifer 210 for 1 says, when I see a black person driving, I shout the N-word as loud as I can, in the comfort of my car while blasting some loud music. God bless America. Good for you. No hurt, Mr. Metal for 10 says, bitch, you are streaming while I'm at work and not drunk while layering War Thunder. War Thunder is like an addict game. Probably put like Gooner skins on your fucking tank. Icux. Played this on stream before.
Crystal clear.
I've played this one. I've played this as an outro like twice. Thank you. Humble Guardsman for 4 says, suggestion, dilate. For example, Ethan Ralph got dilated. When can you find Ralph's dilation? When are we going to dilate that hog? That's fucking gross, bro. I don't know if I can get behind that. Unkind Naysay for 5 says, when you move to America, do you plan to get fat? Fat as fuck, bro. I'm gonna eat everything. You have no idea. I haven't had Waffle House in like 8 fucking years. I'm gonna go to Waffle House, motherfucker. I'm gonna eat some fucking hash browns, motherfucker. First thing I'm gonna do. Baldo Peggins for 5 says, happy Thanksgiving, Josh. Don't get trampled to death at a Best Buy during Black Friday. I don't think they do those anymore. I think too many people have died. They just do a week-long sale now, so nobody dies on the internet. Longboarder 241 for 2 says, made a bet to buy Nubley's book if Kamala didn't win. Hopefully his bank account gets sorted out soon. And then there's a link. He bought his comic book? God. You're probably the first person to ever buy this. This is probably the first print. This is like copy 1 of 1. The 10 Million Year Biscuit. A book by Andrew Howell, a.k.a. Johnny B. Nubley. That's an artifact for sure. That's like a proper Kiwi Farms artifact. Congrats, being the first and only person to own that book. Stupid fuck for 2 says, checked myself into rehab 1 year ago Thursday and haven't had a drink shortly before walking in those doors. I am sober, tall, and have blue eyes. I am the superior Ethan. Good job, Ethan. I'm proud of you. Don't drink, my boy. You know it does no good. Judy, for one, says, how the fuck did Destiny cuck Dr. Murdoch? How Destiny pulls anything looking like he does is a mystery to all mankind. Nobody has any excuse. Stino for 2 says, I hate trannies, and then there is a Kiwi Farms link. They banned wholesome lolly accounts, but yet trolls, right-wingers, and actual Nazis rampant on this site. Oh, the Shroom's upset. The fucking lollies are... Okay. I think even X banned lolicon. Sorry, bro. You just have to pretend to be Japanese. If you want to watch like animated child porn, you have to be Japanese and post on Japanese sites. Sino for one says the bailiff was probably Nika Josh, who hates white people. Perhaps. Possible. Joa Jovi for 5 says, good stream. Glad at the uppercase I internet ham jam. Thank you. Appreciate it. Not LOL for Bikino Chat 2 for 20 says nothing. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Felding for 50 says, 50. Oh, I said that right. All right, I'm melting now. I can't speak. I have to say that right. For $50, says, thank you for providing a safe space to Sneed away from the cold and bitter uppercase I internet landscape. I do my best. I'm like that U.S. Soldier comic where the guy has a bunch of like slings and arrows in his back to protect the sleeping child. That's me, but with Sneed. Thank you very much. Ugula Sneed for 5 says, my Kiwi Viking shirt I delivered last week. Love it. Thanks, Josh. I'm glad everyone likes the merch. I don't deviate from next level because everybody loves their shit, so I just keep buying. Romberger for 2 says, you skipped the voicemail segment, nigga. Dude, I can't. I have to stop talking. I'll do voicemail more frequently in the future, I think. Fox says, if weeds held anime-themed weddings and went to theme parks just to meet an actor pretending to be some anime fag, they'd be openly laughed at, but we have to pretend Disney adults are normal. Anon. Disneyland, no, nobody thinks Disney adults are normal. Disney World is a place for children. You go there as a family. Like, my aunt took her kids to Disney World all the time. Every time I ever went to Disney World, I went there with my aunt because she had like these luxury passes that you could go like every year and get like a free hotel room. I went there over and over again. I also went to Marvel Studios. That's where my mom would take me while we were there. I'd also skip over to Marvel. It's definitely a family thing, you know. Oregano 769055 for $100 says, happy late pizza day, first time donating, been enjoying your work for almost a year. Archives and old natty streams are like time capsules. Good luck with the big move, and thank you for your content. I appreciate it very much. I'm glad that the old episodes hold up. I'm always surprised. I always feel like the streams are very in the moment and wouldn't have much value from a retrospective watch, but a lot of people say they watch the archives, so I'm very happy to hear that. Thank you very much. Nito for one says, hey Josh, what's worse, being gunted or being sonichude? Vote 1 for Gunt, vote 2 for Chris Chandler. Probably unironically, probably gunted, because I have a feeling that Ralph is like a sexual sadist. Chris doesn't feel like he'd kill you like a serial killer killing hookers. Well, fuck. A Docs Found for 5 says, I share the same sentiment about crypto. I sold my bitcoins at around $1,000 and thought I got a great deal, but without people buying and selling with it, like us, it would be worth nothing now. Cheers. It's true. We're the space monkeys, man. Space monkeys. Kurt Eichenwald, Anime Masturbator for 5 says, Glorious Kiwi Emperor, I did it again, didn't I? I used the lowercase I. I'll stop watching anime. That's worse than seppuku. Yeah, they're just cartoons. I don't get the whole, like, fandom about that shit. Mousecop 5 for 5 says, remember that time you thought Destiny was super right-wing and you joined his Discord? Yes! I joined his Discord because I kept seeing that people were calling him like a Nazi, and then I immediately found like a bunch of communists and trannies in his voice chat, and I immediately got banned. And I like, complained to him by email, and I was like, bro, I joined your Discord server, and you had like a tranny communist as a mod, and I got banned immediately. And he sent me a reply by email like with like a smiley face with like 8,000 lips after the colon. And he says, wow, dude, that's so epic. Haha, epic owned. Cool, thanks. It's just like a complete logical non sequitur, but it made me laugh. And I was told that I was duped by memes. Anime extremist for 10 says, speaking of Indians, and there's a YouTube link. Oh my god.
Hello there. My
Skip a minute and a half in.
Indian culture with memes and jokes and racist slogans. To that end, one of the racist slogans which is commonly spammed by online alt-right brigades at Indians Online is the phrase Poo in Loo, which is a reference to an untrue urban legend which frequently circulates in alt-right circles that states that modern toilets have only just been introduced to India, and that the aforementioned slogan first
It's true, though.
as part of a necessary public awareness campaign about how to properly use them.
It's true.
Suffice to say, there's no reason to think an Indian wouldn't know how to use a toilet. And anyone repeating the phrase is doing so simply as really low-effort online reactionary trolling.
This guy's going to churn out. He's going to become like Shroon Joaquin Phoenix. It's going to happen. Thank you. Baja Blast Enjoy for 2 says, what's your opinion on Kingdom Hearts? I've never played Kingdom Hearts, but it looks like Final Fantasy for Disney adults, basically. I've never played any of those games, even Final Fantasy, and I have no interest in any of them. Lorelei for 5 says, when are you moving back to the Racket Shack? Never. I'm never going to Minnesota ever for any reason. Humble Guardsman for 2 says, I want a card posting Gumroad. You know what? That sounds like a good fucking idea. Alright. I gotta go, chat. You know how it is. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching on a very weird day in a very weird context. I appreciate all the true fans, of course. And here's the song I picked out for this stream. See you guys on Tuesday. It will be a regular Tuesday stream, and then there will be a regular Friday stream, and then I'm gone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Step into the garden. We're gonna lock the gate. We gotta keep out the sinners. Gotta keep out the hate. Look at the horizon. The time is coming near. Look out at the world on fire. Look at the people frozen in fear. We won't listen to their crying. They had their chance to see the light. We won't be handing out no pardons, 'cause the world is gonna end tonight.
See the rabbits running, see the mountains shake. Now the sea is flooded and the earth begins to quake. Hear the boom of thunder, sounds just like the voice. Should've listened closer when we made that choice. We won't listen to their screaming. They had their chance to do what's right. They'll be begging for forgiveness, 'cause the world is gonna end tonight. Those non-believers out by the path, they're gonna burn forever. They're gonna burn to ash. So take heed, young heathen. Listen to me close.